down to the far left side, taken on the run by the Packers on the far side of the field and battled up to about the 33 or 34-yard line for the Green Bay Packers. It depends on where they put it down, and Travis Jervey is the one who took that one that went off to the sidelines, and the Packers will take over with the first down. That was Chip Lohmiller who did the kicking off. That's Sean Lundena for the St. Louis Rams. So the Packers at the 32-yard line need to come back out, Max, and establish something right away. John Michaels is at the left tackle. Earl Dotson should be well at the right tackle. He suffered both of them a little bit last week. All right, first down with Edgar Bennett, a single running back, 2 wide receivers left and right for the Packers on the first down play. Here's Brett Favre from his own 32-yard line. Sends a man in motion, but nobody moves. Maybe he's changing the play with the motion. Here's Brett on a play action. Rolls to the left and rolls out of the pocket. He's in trouble. Fires sidearm upfield, incomplete. At about the 49-yard line, the play was intended for Jeff Thomason. And into covers Roman Pfeiffer for the St. Louis Rams. And again, Larry McCarren, a lot of pressure on the very first play, almost as if there was a mix-up on what was going to happen.
The Rams blitzed on the play, but the pressure came from left end, or right end rather. Leslie O'Neal was playing across from John Michaels.
I agree, Jim. I think that play was messed up by somebody.
Yeah, it didn't seem to go well. Across the front, Kevin Carter, DeMarco Farr, Jimmy Jones, and Leslie O'Neal. We are so high up, folks. This is the highest place in the league for
rise and run game.
Here's the pass by Brett Favre to the outside. Knockdown intended for Andre Rison, and knocked down on left corner by Todd Light. Incomplete, and it becomes a third down for the Packers. Pretty good throw, but a pretty good play by Todd Light as well, and maybe a little bit telegraphed.
Excellent coverage by Light, and a real simple pattern by Rison, just a simple square out.
I tell you, look at Rison. Oh, look at him run that pattern, Jim. He can make great cuts. However, I think they wanted to get him in the game early. That's why they called him.
And I think that's why Todd Light was right on top of the play, too, because he said, they're throwing this thing to Andre Rison. I got to be right on top of him.
And he's still in there.
Mickens will go wide right, and Rison to the left. We got a slot on the left, and in motion to the outside is Keith Jackson. Straight back to pass goes Brett Favre. Now steps up in the pocket on the run. Got a man open as he swings it back to the left, and his arm strength. He got hit as he released it. Is well short. DeMarco Farr knocked him down, and the ball floated out there, and it's incomplete. And St. Louis off to a great start.
I'll tell you, 2 out of the 3 passes he threw, Jim, off balance and a back across the field. Pretty dangerous. I think they're fortunate to get out of this thing.
That was as underwhelming an opening series as you could have.
Well, you can see what's been happening to the Packers. Now they've got some real problems. In a fine return man, Eddie Kennison normally does it, but he is not out there tonight because of injury. And so they'll have to go to a different person, probably.
Oh, going with Herman O'Berry.
O'Berry is going to do it. He hadn't done this very often. Here's a high floater by Hendrick. And the ball is taken at the 28-yard line, and O'Berry gets away from the first man. Can't get away from the second.
No Eddie Kennison.
And down he goes at the 30-yard line, where it becomes a first down for the St. Louis Rams. I'm trying to see where along the sidelines. The guy tells us when they take a break, and I don't know where he is. We're so high up, I might not be able to tell anyway once we get into it. So it's going to be a first down for the St. Louis Rams. Today's game brought to you by Aaron's Outdoor Power Equipment and your local Aaron's dealer. Aaron's, the best from start to finish.
The Rams' offensive line, quite frankly, not good. That is a matchup the Packers should win. Their defensive line ought to dominate these
But
guys.
Their running back is going to be Harold Green, and Harold Green's been averaging 4.7 yards per carry. 70 carries, 328 yards. He scored 3 touchdowns. First down for Tony Banks, and he wants to throw on first down back, and he wants to go long. Everybody does this. There's a man wide open, but Newsome had him over the shoulder and had the ball played well. It was intended long downfield for J.T. Thomas, and Newsome played the ball very well that time, and Thomas was out and open, but Newsome had the ball.
Yeah, bad pass, though, Jim. He actually had him beat. If he throws that ball out in front, this thing, they got one on the board already.
You think they aren't copycats around this league?
Interesting concept, opening up the game with a bomb, huh? Mind your Kansas City a little bit?
And Dallas came back with one to Michael Irvin in that first series that led to a field goal. Second down and 10 for the St. Louis Rams at their own 30-yard line, dressed in the blue uniforms with the gold trim. We got the same pants on both of these teams. Here's the handoff up the middle, and Green sprints across the 30 to about the 32-yard line, but not much room there for him. Eugene Robinson backing up the play, but it appears that Gilbert Brown made the initial contact.
The Rams running what's called a wham play. The tight end goes in motion and actually trap blocks on the defensive tackle. He blocked on Santana Dotson, but the rest of the folks did a fine job. Not much of a game.
Larry, Max, I came out here about 4 o'clock this afternoon onto the field. There was Fritz Shermer sitting on the far bench over there. Nobody in the stadium at all, just kind of staring out at midfield, thinking out what he wanted to do tonight. Third down for the Rams at 8.
Hope he figured it out.
You and me both. Third down for Tony Banks, averaging about 53% completion. Back he goes to throw it. Great protection. Looks now, fires up the sideline.
Wide
open. And he threw it just to the outside. That's poorly played by the intended receiver, Alexander Wright, coming back after some injury to play here tonight. And he just didn't pick up the ball. Well thrown by Tony Banks.
Yeah, and you know what's distressing from our point of view? No pass rush whatsoever. This is not a real good Ram offensive line. I promise you, we should get more of a rush than that.
Here's Sean Landeta to do the kicking. He's been around this league for a long time. I had the pleasure of being on the air with Sean the other night. He's in his 12th year from Towson State. I should have asked him where Towson State was. And in Maryland. Okay. Here's the kick. And Landeta drives this one high and beautifully. He's been doing this for a long time. Desmond Howard back to the 15. Howard looking for a block. Gets the 20. Got a block on the corner and out to about the 27-yard line by Desmond Howard. So we'll look to the sidelines. We're going to get a timeout on the field. There is no score in the ball game. Back after we pause for this. This is a Packer Radio Network.
Record new car sales have left Bergstrom with too many trades.
Now, Brett Favre calls the big play to reduce Bergstrom's 1,000.
To show you what those two series were like, Larry McCarren, we played a minute 39, and each team has run 3 plays and a punt.
Underwhelming.
First down out of an I formation for the Packers. The receivers to the left and right. And the deep man is Edgar Bennett. Here's the handoff to Edgar. Looks to go to the outside. Caught and drilled down at about the 24-yard line. No gain on the play. DeMarco Farr made the initial contact for the St. Louis Rams and brought him down for no gain on the play.
Keith Jackson was blocking on a full-grown defensive end, Kevin Carter, that time. And I'll tell you what, way too much penetration. When something like that happens, the play gets all discombobulated. Too much penetration.
Into the lineup, I believe that's Andre Rison, as out goes Don Beebe for the Packers. Rison will go to the left side. And split off to the right is Derek Mays. Look at the wide receivers, Mays and Rison. We didn't start the season that way, did we?
No, we didn't, but that's a couple of potential ones.
Here's a quick slant pattern to Rison. Gets hit immediately as the ball is drilled into him, and it is not free. Anthony Parker on the contact for the St. Louis Rams. Pretty good throw, but just a good defensive play by Anthony Parker.
And that's a matchup the Packers have got to like. Anthony Parker is not a real swift guy. He's a guy that can make big plays, but he's not real swift. They got to like that matchup. Got to win that one.
So it is going to be third down and 13 yards to go for the Packers here, and a slow start to this ball game. The Packers with everything to gain here tonight. The Cowboys have lost. They need to win to stay tied with San Francisco for the best record in the National Football Conference. Denver won again today, and Denver has now gone with only one loss. Here's a quick slant this time to Rison, and Rison close to a first down, but short by a couple of yards. But he's into the flow of the game, and he makes his first catch as a member of the Green Bay Packers. Same play, opposite side.
Yeah, and a moral victory. We had some success. We may not have got the first, but it's a moral victory.
You know, most of those passes are pretty well telegraphed, Jim.
Yes.
That other slant, he looked at him all the way, and of course that's because he's not familiar with him, and the defender knows that, so he was covering him too close.
Craig Hendrick will do the kicking, and this is his second punt already. Gets a good snap from center and drills this one. A high end over ender, starting to wobble a little bit. Caught at the 26-yard line, and a trip as he tries to go to the right, and he is tripped and brought down at about the 29-yard line. And a timeout on the field. We'll take a break. Back after this from your local station on the Packer Radio Network.
Ooh, I'm ripping these old campaign signs out of the air. That's what I'm doing. Heck, I get so confused with all of this. I'm glad it's all over. And you know, they never did discuss issues, just more interested in throwing mud at each other. Ooh, kind of like Dora May's family reunion. You know, nary a one of those yahoos said anything about the environment. I guess he doesn't.
5 to about the 36-yard line, where he gets tripped up. Had a good opening in the middle of the line for the Packers for him to get through.
Yeah, the Rams just using straight-ahead zone, man-on-man blocking, staying on their men, and letting Harold Green pick a spot.
By the way,
nicely.
The reason Lawrence Phillips isn't playing tonight, they want him to play as much as he can. He's got a sore ankle, and they've been trying to pad it and pad it and pad it, and he plays a little while, and then he breaks down. I would assume we may see him later on in the ballgame. Second down for the Rams at the 35-yard line. Again, the handoff to Green. Cuts back against the Green. Nice cut. And that's the first down of the game out to the 40-yard line for the St. Louis Rams.
You know, that's exactly what I expected the Rams to do tonight, Jim. Run the football until the Packers stop them, because I think they feel like they can't get pass protection, so they better run the ball, and that'll make it easier to block them on the passes.
They average 103 yards rushing, but they had 262 in the ball game against Atlanta.
They got well in that Atlanta game, 59 points.
Their wide receiver with the most numbers is Isaac Bruce with 59 catches. He splits out wide right. This is the same club that beat the Packers opening game of last season. Here's Banks, and the handoff this time to Green went once too often to him, and Santana Dotson grabs him around the ankles and brings him down at the 40-yard line, the line of scrimmage.
Once again, that was that wham play from the other side. The tight end trap blocked on Gilbert Brown, but Santana beat his block on the backside.
You know what you need to do early in this ballgame, Max? When Banks goes back, you need to bury him quickly so it makes him leery and alert to all of that happening to him.
Well, I think that's happened to him, Jim. He's been sacked so many times, and I was talking to their guy, and he said he is getting a little weary.
Second down, 10 yards to go. Back at the 40-yard line for the Rams. Here's Banks. A play-action fake comes out to the right side. A flag on the play, and apparently the motion preceded the play, and so they'll call a play back. The whistle started sounding before the play really got fully underway. Catch was made by tight end Aaron Lang. Ernie Conwell is hurting for them. He is their starting tight end. So it's illegal procedure on the part of the St. Louis Rams, and that will move them back to the 35-yard line and make it a second down and 15. It's really hard to see and hear from where we are up here. We told you last week about being on the roof at Dallas. This is higher. It's higher than Tampa Bay. Where else could be this possibly this high? I don't think there is any place left.
No building in Green Bay, I can assure you. Not even St. Vincent's.
They're probably Milwaukee. Second down at 15 yards to go. Back to pass, goes back straight back in the pocket, and there came Simmons after he fires upfield and threw it away. He could see Simmons coming. Wayne Simmons over the top. Simmons knocked him down just for the fun of it, and he threw that ball quickly and well over the head of the receiver out here on the left.
Harold Green trying to do a blitz pickup on Wayne Simmons, almost comical. Just a physical mismatch.
So it is going to be third down and 15. Simmons coming up the middle and got a push, and he just ran over Green, and he got a little extra shove, maybe a tad late. Got to be careful about that. Simmons has had a couple of penalties that have hurt in recent games, but he is a terrific player. Third down, 15 for the Rams.
Packers going 3-2.
In motion is Conwell towards this near side, and here is Banks rolling right into some traffic, but now he sets up and fires to the sideline, caught by Isaac Bruce, and a first down at the 47-yard line. Good throw by Banks that time. Bruce defeated the Packers on this side. I'm not sure who the coverage was. Maybe Williams on the play, and he just beat him by a couple of yards, wide open.
And luckily he rolled out to this side. He had the perfect play call, but what an arm this young man has, Jim. I mean, that is so smooth and right on target.
You know what happens? Evans was on the blitz, and they knocked him off the blitz.
Exactly.
Yes. I knew you were going to say that. Him up. Yes, I knew you were going to say that. We have 9:40 to go here in the first quarter, and St. Louis has the first drive underway of the game. Single running back for Green. They're in Packer territory at the 48-yard line of Green Bay. And here's Banks in the ride and a handoff to Green to the outside of the 45. Oh, great from behind tackle by Reggie White. That guy was into the hole, Max, and was going to make a big gainer. And Reggie reached backwards and grabbed him around the ankles and brought him down for a gain of about 2 yards.
I'll tell you, he found a big crack in early there, and it looked like he was going somewhere till Reggie caught him.
If you're watching on TV, watch this play.
Dwayne White, their right guard, just totally owned that time. Santana Dotson, just a great drive blocker. He's basically their best offensive lineman. Doesn't always play that way, though.
Second down, and 7 yards to go inside the Packer 45 for St. Louis. And Banks with a long count, and the handoff straight up the middle goes Green, driving forward across the 40 to the 38-yard line, close to a first down for St. Louis.
Packers came out in that 3-4 defense they introduced against the Dallas Cowboys last week. The Rams using good combination blocks between their center and guard to create a crease inside.
They got a measure to see whether or not that is their first down, and Mike Carey says no, it is short. So it'll be third down and inches. Santana Dotson comes back in.
They got the best that time of Gilbert Brown and George Kuntz.
Gabe Wilkins is playing the defensive right end for the Packers because Sean Jones is resting tonight. Jones with that weakened ankle. They're trying to get him ready for the stretch run of the last 4 games of this regular season.
And Jones had been playing the run very well this year.
Thanks for the timeout. We'll take a break back after this on the Packer Radio Network.
Green Bay coaches know you need a great defense to succeed, and your best defense.
2 feet to go for the first down at the Packer 38-yard line. Isaac Bruce splits wide right for St. Louis. They have a blocking back in the backfield who is the tight end, Hayward Clay. And he comes in motion to the outside now. And here's the pitch back to Green. Tries to run wide. Is going to be caught in the backfield. And now gets away. Still on his feet and is brought down back at the 48-yard line. They outsmarted themselves.
Oh,
Max.
boy, did they. And a great defensive play on this right side of the defensive line. But he had nowhere to go. Where were they, Larry?
Great instant penetration by Leroy Butler. He does an excellent job of getting his nose up into the mix immediately on short yardage situations.
Well, when you have third down and a foot to go and you pitch it wide, you're just asking for trouble.
Well, that's right. You don't want to go horizontal across the field when you got a half a yard. You want to go straight up the old field. That's a break for the Pack.
Mike Pryor goes back. Sean Lindetta is back to do the punting for St. Louis. And here is Lindetta, and again, he gets that high floater. He does a beautiful job. Fair catch called by Desmond Howard at the 11-yard line for the Green Bay Packers. So the Packers will take over at the 11. We still have 7 minutes and 21 seconds to go here in the first quarter of the game. No score in the contest. The first drive of any significance that time by St. Louis. 7:21. As you know today, Minnesota lost to Denver. That's a help to the Packers.
Yeah, what would be a help, too, is run the football a little bit. I mean, the Rams are 25th in the league against the rush. They went handed to Edgar a few times to get on track.
All right, well, let's try and see if that happens. At the 11-yard line, first down for the Packers. Walking back is William Henderson. Edgar Bennett is the tailback. Edgar over 630 yards in rushing so far this season. He's in motion to the outside on first down. And a pitch goes back to Henderson to run the ball upfield to the 15, maybe the 16-yard line. William Henderson out to about the 16 and a gain of 11 yards. Well, you wanted to run the back, but you thought that maybe Henderson would do the blocking and Edgar Bennett would do the running. That time it just turned out that Bennett was a decoy.
Listen, I like to see that guy with the ball in his hands. When he turns it up, you don't have to worry about him going down. He's going to run over somebody.
But nothing settles a team down more than a little success on the ground.
It is going to be second down and 5 yards to go at the 15, maybe the 16-yard line for the Packers. Crowd trying to help out here in St. Louis. It's a sellout crowd. And Brett's going to throw on second down, sets up a screen. Off it goes to Dorsey Levens. St. Louis played that beautifully and wrapped it up right at the line of scrimmage. Roman Pfeiffer in to break it up. And St. Louis expected the screen and got exactly what they expected.
And one man defeated that screen. He got in there outside. Nobody turned out to kick him out. If they'd have kicked him out, Jim, he might still be running.
That's right, Max. You got to keep your head on a swivel on screen plays as you get out there. Leslie O'Neal out into the mix. Actually, it was set up beautifully because they blitzed on the play from the side of the screen.
The Wisconsin Volkswagen dealers want to put you in the driver's seat of a Jetta GL. Come in for a test drive. Call 1-800-DRIVE-VW for a conveniently located dealership near you. Third down and about 7 for the Packers at the 14. Brett straight back in the pocket, steps up over the middle. First down at the 25-yard line. He threw a bullet to Don Beebe over the middle, and that's the first post pattern with any success in about 3 ball games.
Yeah, I think that was more kind of like a turn-in, Jim. It didn't. They weren't going to the post.
Okay.
They were going for a first down, a perfect pass route by Beebe.
Settled down, right, found a window in the zone, settled down, and Brett fired a tracer. Pretty simple.
So it is going to be a first down for the Packers. Their first of the ball game out to the 25-yard line. And you'll split Beebe off to the right in the slot, and then a wide receiver to the right. And you have a wing up on the left in Edgar Bennett. That's first down. And here's Brett straight back in the pocket. Brett looks, comes off to the right sideline. Caught by Mickens. Mickens to the 30 and out to the 35. And maybe something started to click in a little bit here.
Well, it looks like it. Brett's getting back kind of on a nice rhythm, getting those passes off. That's what we saw earlier in the year and have not seen for the last couple of weeks.
Max, I think sometimes with all the Packers' different formations and different kinds of motions, sometimes receivers just get lost.
I mean,
right. For defensive people.
So the ball's going to be at the 35-yard line. It's about a yard shy of the first down for the Packers. Mickens goes left. And Beebe to the right this time. I formation. Let's see if they split it into a pro set. And they do. With Bennett up to the right of William Henderson. In motion is Beebe. Here's the handoff. And Bennett trying to cut back inside. Doesn't get the first down. He's knocked down at the line of scrimmage. And again, it's the middle linebacker who makes the tackle. Robert Jones playing to the crowd.
Robert Jones was supposed to be blocked by Adam Timmerman. Adam Timmerman was pulling around, got caught in the trash. Robert Jones, to date this season, has been an overpaid acquisition from the Dallas Cowboys. He didn't make the Cowboys. The Cowboys made him, and he's making $2 million a year here in St. Louis.
6'2", 242 in his 5th year out of East Carolina. But now we come to a third down and 1, a difficult down for the Packers. Brett Favre has 2 receivers off to the left side. Here's Brett waiting, and the handoff goes up the middle, and I don't think they got it. They hit right to the 35-yard line, and that wasn't enough. Hand handoff went to William Henderson, and the push on the right side simply wasn't enough, and Roman Pfeiffer again filled the hole and knocked him down.
Well, I don't know how you can miss that many people, Jim. He went off the right side, and they blocked nobody.
I'm wondering if William ran the right hole because they didn't have a blocker for him.
That's what I mean. There was something wrong because there was nobody out there but the Rams.
Sometimes you get the feeling that maybe the Packers are trying so hard that things are just very difficult for them at the moment.
It's incumbent on an interior play that the interior guys get movement, though. He had to bounce it outside because there was no movement on the defensive line.
Herman O'Berry, a defensive back who is returning punts here tonight. Here's a high kick by Craig Hendrick, and O'Berry goes all the way back to the 12-yard line. Caught it over his shoulder even at that, and is drilled at the 14. He's fortunate that he held on to that ball. He really got drilled hard on the play, but a flag on the play back at the 35-yard line.
Lamont Hollenquist doing the tackling there. He's fine special teams player.
Well, for Packers coverage, it scores every time. Don't miss sports commentary by Journal Sentinel writers Bob McKinn and Tom Silverstein. Looks like they're going to do it all over again because the Rams don't want to be at the 14-yard line. Frank Winters is going back to get in position. He's picking up a strap. Let's listen. It's holding against the Rams, and it would be on the kick. I would assume that the ball had already been released. Mike Carey will tell us. He signaled holding against the Rams. Let's listen to Mike Carey.
Holding on the receiving team, number 55. It was during the kick. The foul will be missed after the kick. First down.
All right, so the penalty will be against the Rams. It'll be half the distance to the goal line, and a timeout back after this on the Packer Radio Network.
Every hit, every score,
It's all the way back to the 6-yard line, holding against the Rams when the ball was in the air on the punt. And once you kick it, then it changes possession from defense to offense, and the Rams will start at the 6-yard line. And Larry, if you're going to get a turnover right now, it'd be a perfect time to do it.
Certainly a chance for Green Bay to seize the momentum.
From the 6-yard line, no score in the ball game, and we have 3:18 to go in the first quarter of the game. Cody Banks, the quarterback. In motion goes the tight end to the right for St. Louis, and a handoff to Green. Oh, he broke a hole. He's out to the 15 on his feet and stumbles to the 22-yard line. And it's got to be disturbing, I would think, to Fritz Shermer that the initial tackles are being missed at the line of scrimmage, and they're just not getting blocked.
Well, not only that, Jim, they broke the line of scrimmage free as a bird, and then Brian Williams missed the tackle after a 5-yard gain, and now St. Louis is basically out of trouble.
So the ball's all the way out to the 22-yard line for the Rams, and in rushing so far, Green has 8 carries for 29 yards.
Guess who blocked Ernie Conwell, the tight end. He's the guy that blocked Reggie White all by himself.
It's going to be a first down for St. Louis, and Banks wants to throw it. Banks looking, fires it off to the right sidelines. It is caught by the tight end Lang, and a miss by Doug Evans. Aaron Lang catches the ball out here on the right side. Evans had him drilled at about the 28-yard line and just flat dab missed it.
Hey, this is not pleasant to look at. I saw Isaac Bruce come back, their big stud receiver, come back and put a lick on Wayne Simmons. The Rams have come to play.
And the ball is out to the 33-yard line. In 2 plays, they have moved from their 6-yard line to their 33-yard line. And the clock is down to 2:02 to go here in the first quarter. The Rams have looked the sharper on offense of the 2 teams tonight so far. First down at the 33-yard line. Man in motion. Lang, the tight end to this near side. Banks on the handoff to Green. Cuts back against the Green. Hitting the hole this time. And drilled immediately. Didn't have a chance to move. That looked like Gilbert Brown, who might have gotten a hand on him. Wasn't going to let him get past him that time.
Good job by both Gilbert and Santana Dotson. Gilbert holding the point of attack, and Santana Dotson not getting cut off and falling in to make the play.
Well, this Packer broadcast comes to you from our friends at Quick Trip. This holiday season, give the perfect stocking stuffer. Quick Trip gift certificates. Give the gift of gas. Available at all your neighborhood Quick Trip stores. Second down and 9 for St. Louis. The ball resting at their 34-yard line. In motion this time goes Conwell to the right, and Banks rolls to the right and fires on the run to Conwell, and he's immediately drilled. Good play by Eugene Robinson after a gain of 5 yards at about the 38-yard line, moving to the right, and he had a chance to get away, but a sure-handed tackle by Eugene Robinson makes it a third down and about 5 yards to go. That was a good play.
It was, Jim, and you give success to a 10-point, excuse me, you give success to a 10-point underdog, you give them a little start here, and they're going to be tough to handle.
Well, all you got to do is look at the scores today, and it's scary. Things that happened today in the league. Denver was on the verge of being beaten by Minnesota, and Minnesota and the Vikings on the verge of getting themselves right back in the Central Division race before Denver scored late and won. Here is a third down play for Banks. Straight back in the pocket this time, and again, no rush. fires the ball upfield, incomplete. And Williams on the coverage, it was intended for J.T. Thomas. And the ball knocked a little bit low and knocked away, but you're going to have to get to the quarterback. He just stood back there in a pocket and waited until he thought he had a chance to get it to J.T. Thomas.
So far, Fritz just rushing 4, and we're getting absolutely zero pressure on it.
So back to do the kicking is Sean Lindetta. A battle of kickers so far. No score with 29 seconds remaining here in the first quarter of the game. Lindetta standing back at his 23. The snap comes from the 38-yard line. Waiting is the center. Good snap, a little low. And Lindetta goes down and gets it. This guy kicks beautiful kicks. These are spirals, and they let it go over the head into the end zone. That one was a 62-yarder into the end zone, and the Packers get a break and will bring it out and take it over at the 20-yard line. Well, if you depend on your car to perform, depend on 76 Gasolines to keep it a performance car. If this is a feeling out process, we've pretty well done it, haven't we?
We don't have much of a performance car going so far today, and unfortunately, the fans here are awfully quiet for anybody. I mean, nothing's going on.
Maybe it's the weather, Max.
It's bad in here.
The ball's going to be placed at the 20-yard line. Quality, great selection, and the lowest overall prices are the reasons you should make Roundy's Pick and Save your one and only food store. For the best overall value, shop at Roundy's Pick and Save. When it comes to price, they're still talking low.
We've got a crowd over the course of a 3-8 season has learned not to get too excited too early.
So it is going to be a first down at the 20 for Brett Favre. Favre, play action fake. Back to throw. Now he dances away, screens it off on the right to Mitchell, or rather to Jackson. Jackson stepped inside a defender and gets 5 yards. The ball didn't quite get to Keith as quickly as he would have liked. And he gets only, well, they're going to give him almost 5 yards out of the play out to the 24. That will end the quarter. After one quarter, no score in the ball game. Back after this on the Packer Radio Network.
The complete line of Logo 7 Packer clothing is at Target. Packers.
Today's contestant is Margie Moroz from Owen, Wisconsin. Margie Moroz thinks that Chris Jackie will be the first Packer to score in the second quarter. She's already won a gift certificate from Quick Trip, and if Chris Jackie scores first this quarter, Margie will win a year's supply of quality gasoline from Quick Trip. To enter, stop at your neighborhood Quick Trip stores throughout Wisconsin. This holiday season, give the perfect stocking stuffer Quick Trip gift certificates. Give the gift of gas available at your neighborhood Quick Trip stores. Second down and 5. It looked as if the Rams were offside and a whistle blows. Did somebody move or did the Rams jump and make contact? I'm not sure. If you don't normally stop the play unless there is illegal procedure on the part of the offense, and the Rams are pointing at the Packers. Let's listen to Mike Klein.
Before the snap, there was a false start on the offense, number 80, 5-yard penalty for the man.
Derek Mays with a false start, so they'll go back to a second down and 10. Never seem to be many short yardage plays for the Packers.
Not recently, anyway. Packers using a lot of different wide receiver combinations. Derek Mays and Andre Rison in the ball game right now.
You know, when you played 11 games, Jim, you're not supposed to be jumping off sides. I mean, those are things that you have to get behind you early in the year. Those kind of mistakes are just kill a drive.
Andre Rison splits off wide right for the Packers on a second down and 11. Here's Brett Favre, and Brett on the inside handoff to Edgar Bennett. Oh, he couldn't clear, ran into Roman Pfeiffer. Looked like there was a hole there, but he just couldn't get rid of all of the bodies. And he gets out to the 22-yard line, and he's brought down there after a gain of 3 to make it a third down and 8 yards to go. By the way, our Bud Packer payoff contestant here in the second quarter, Joe Close from Eau Claire, Wisconsin. So, Joe, hope you have a chance to win some money before this is all over here tonight. So it is going to be a third down and again long for the Packers. Third down and 8. And a crowd trying to, I don't think this crowd knows quite how to cheer. They don't know how to get really loud.
You know, a lot of them didn't show up either. There's a lot of red air that you're talking about. A lot of them didn't fill up here tonight.
Third down and 8. Here's Brett. Quick pattern off on the right on the screen, but they can't clear the traffic. Brought down at the 26-yard line. It appeared it was a wide receiver, Andre Rison, who caught the ball, and Andre trying to get behind his blockers, and the blockers just didn't clear the path for him, and it goes for naught.
Well, they're definitely trying to get Andre Rison in this offense any way they can, Jim, and obviously they should. He's a great receiver, but so far they're not making many first downs.
So kicking time again for the Packers. Craig Hendrick to do the kicking for Green Bay. Brett Favre at the moment is 6 out of 10 for only 38 yards, and the Packers have rushed 5 times for 5 yards.
Ooh.
That average won't get you very far, will it?
I could figure that one out.
Here is Hendrick, and they come up the middle, but Hendrick gets this one away. Look at this high floater. And O'Berry dropped the ball.
There it is.
It appears to be free. Who got it? It's down at about the 27. No signal yet on where the ball is. And we're waiting for officials to unpile it. There were 2 Packers and 1 Ram battling for the ball at the 26-yard line. And the officials have yet to say who has recovered the ball. Still haven't said. Still haven't said. And we're still
Jeff
looking.
Thomason got a swipe at it earlier.
And we're still waiting. And still no recovery by anybody.
Nobody knows.
Now, this is ridiculous. Now we're going to have a meeting by officials. Oh, they gave the ball to the Rams.
Gosh.
They gave the ball to the Rams after a meeting by officials and a timeout on the field, and we'll take a break. Back after this. This is the Packer Radio Network.
After sitting at a deer stand for hours, comfort becomes a real concern, especially for the ride home. Comfort, along with power and handling, describe Polaris ATVs. Get a taste of the wild. Take delivery of a nice...
Football it was out there for the taking by the Packers.
Well, Tyrone had it all by himself, and then it came out, and then there was a big wrestle, and when there's a tie, it goes to whoever's the offensive team. So the Rams became the offensive team, so therefore they get the ball.
Well, this game's action brought to you tonight by your Polaris snowmobile, ATV, and personal watercraft dealers. For outdoor fun before and after the snow, see your Polaris dealer. Could have been a big break, but instead it's a first down for the Rams at the 27-yard line. 4 wide receivers for St. Louis. And Banks on the draw play up the middle to Green, who gets outside to the 30, on his feet to the 35, and to the 36-yard line for St. Louis.
Packers choosing to open the series 1st and 10 with a nickel defense. 6 defensive backs, or rather 5 defensive backs in the game, minus a couple linebackers. I think it showed on that play.
So they get 9 yards on the play out to the 36-yard line. And now Green is 10 carries, 39 yards. So that's a better average. The Packers averaging about a yard a carry, and Green 4 yards a carry.
Oh, I'm glad Lawrence Phillips in there if Green is second string.
Second down and a yard to go for St. Louis. They're resting at the 36-yard line in their own territory. Banks on a long count, maybe changing the play. Banks on the ride and the handoff to Green, back against the grain again. Good runner to the 40-yard line before he is hit and brought down by Reggie White with some help from Leroy Butler. But a gain of about 4 yards and a first down for St. Louis.
Green reading the block of Dwayne White on Santana Dotson. White pushed him well across the other side of the line of scrimmage, and Green cut right behind it.
12:19 to go in the first half, and it is scoreless tonight, and the Packers continuing to have difficulty in moving the football. But their defense has shut down St. Louis so far, with the Rams with a first down at their own 40-yard line. The Rams have had the better drives of the night. Banks waiting for the snap from the 40. Straight back in this pocket this time. Holland trying to come after him. Fires it off to the right side to the tight end. And the tight end Lang is hit and dropped after a gain of about 8 yards on the left side. Darius Holland now playing the nose tackle position in place of Gilbert Brown.
They've been spotting them in there on a pretty regular basis the last few games. But I'll tell you what, the lack of a pass rush is still a little disconcerting here.
Nobody there. Nobody to get to the defender.
We're talking about a quarterback that's been sacked 43 times this year and has fumbled 15 times. I mean, they can shake the ball loose on this guy if they can get to him.
So it is going to be second down and about 2 yards to go for St. Louis. They're up near the 48-yard line in their own territory. Wing on the left side out of the backfield for St. Louis. And here's Banks, and a reverse handoff goes around the right side to J.T. Thomas, and Thomas gets back to the line of scrimmage. No more than that. Well played by Craig Newsom and also by George Kuntz.
Newsom and Kuntz get the glory, but I'll tell you what, Wayne Simmons did the dirty work. He used up 2 blockers by himself so those guys could make the play.
Pretty well executed play, too, wasn't it?
Well, it looked good to start with, Jim, because they had 2 blockers out there, but as Larry said, Wayne kind of got in behind there and messed that thing up.
Third down and 3 yards to go now for St. Louis. Actually, a yard lost on the play for J.T. Thomas on the run.
Odd place to run that particular
play. Well, Brooks is trying a lot of interesting things here tonight so far. So third down.
What's he got to lose besides his job?
Right. That's exactly it. He's trying to save the job, and now Banks says, I got to have a timeout. Second time tonight he has done that. And a timeout called on the field. We'll take a break and be back after this from your local station on the Packer Radio Network. Well, 10:50 to go here in quarter number 2. Still no score in the ballgame. For your family's banking, rely on the best. Rely on First Financial Bank, currently the best bank in Wisconsin, according to Money Magazine. First Financial Bank, an equal housing lender, member FDIC. Third down and 3 at the 47-yard line. St. Louis in its own territory. Isaac Bruce splits off wide to the left. And to the right side is Alexander Wright. They have a wing on the left side. Bruce comes in motion to the near side of the field. And back goes Banks to throw. And Banks over the middle, bounced it off the knee of the intended receiver. It was intended, I believe, for Ernie Conwell, and Banks threw an extremely poor pass, but he was under heavy pressure. Then a late hit by Wayne Simmons again. Wayne's going to have to be careful because Wayne has been involved in a couple of plays that were awfully close and borderline. And so it'll be 4th down for St. Louis. St. Louis gets the award for having more difficulty making those short yardage plays than the Packers did. Darius Holland almost came over the big play on a deflection.
Fritz not standing pat, sent linebacker, sent a safety, changed up and caused Banks some problems.
Landetta, who's really been a yeoman worker for the St. Louis Rams and has kept pinning the Packers backward. Here he kicks one deep again, and the Packers say fair catch, and they get out of the way, and it makes it into the end zone. That's a lucky break and a good decision by Desmond Howard to get out of the way and let that ball go into the end zone. We get a timeout on the field. Still no score. 10:35 remaining. Back after this here in the second quarter on the Packer Radio Network. At their own 20-yard line.
Packers going with 3 wideouts.
And the handoff goes to Levens, and Dorsey trying to sweep to the right side, gets out to about the 24-yard line for a gain of 4 yards, running behind Frank Winters and Adam Timmerman over on the right side to get a little yardage out to the 24-yard line. There just isn't anything that seems to work consistently, Larry.
Yeah, Dorsey might have done a little better cutting inside Adam Timmerman's block because Adam Timmerman could not reach the guy to cut him off from Dorsey.
Well, drinking responsibly is always a good game plan. A message from your friends at Anheuser-Busch. 2nd down and 6 yards to go. I'm sure the fans would like to see something happen here in the ball game, even from Brett Favre, because they know what a great player he is. Now they swing the ball off to the left to William Henderson, cuts inside the defenders, only gets back to the 25-yard line before he can be hit and dropped on the play. And the tackle for St. Louis is made by Kevin Carter in the middle. He had to wait for the pass to get to him, Max. And then when he got there, he wasn't sure where he wanted to go with it.
Well, there wasn't any place to go, Jim. There was all opponent's jersey in front of him, so he got what he could.
Leslie O'Neal also in on the play, and that guy has come to play tonight. He is playing with some intensity, something he hasn't done since coming to St. Louis on a regular basis.
3rd down and 5 yards to go for the Packers. Brett Favre sends Levin in motion. Nobody left in the backfield. Here they come. And Brett swings it up the outside, intended it for Beebe, and overshot him. He had Beebe one-on-one out here, but the coverage was right on top of Beebe, and he had to throw it away from him, and Beebe couldn't get to it. Keith Crawford appeared to have the coverage.
Also, John Michaels allowed too much penetration by O'Neal. O'Neal and Michaels right in Brett's lap on the play.
So again, the Packers have to kick the football away. It's just getting kind of repetitive, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the success on those kind of plays, Jim, as Larry was talking about, you can't let the guy penetrate to where the quarterback can't throw a good pass to that on those short passes. You either got to cut him down or get him out of there.
Here is Hendrick on the kick, and he drills one this time. And O'Berry goes back to the 23-yard line, looks to return, and is brought down at the 30. O'Berry down at the 30-yard line, and there the St. Louis Rams will take over with the 1st down. Well, Brett Favre has the drive to win, and so does your local Bergstrom dealership. 21 locations throughout Wisconsin. They have thousands of cars and trucks to choose from. Bergstrom for the love of driving. And you said?
I was just going to say Mike Pryor hustling down to make the play. We've had good coverage so far tonight.
Yeah, well, we've had a lot of practice for special teams. They ought to be playing well at this stage, shouldn't they?
I was going to say, this is the night of the punter.
9 punts so far, 5 of them by the Packers.
Unfortunately, we've had a bend but don't break offense.
Yeah, for about 3 weeks.
Bruce goes to the left. J.C. Thomas comes to the right for St. Louis on a 1st down at their 30-yard line.
Bob Kaburski in the game for the Packers.
Now we've seen a lot of different players here lately for Green Bay. Here's Banks on the draw, gives it up the middle, and Green runs right into a pile of people. Simmons on top of it. I'm not sure who's down at the bottom of the pile, but they made the initial contact. And a gain of a yard on the play. That looks like Gabe Wilkins at the bottom for the Packers. You know, in Wilkins' case, Larry, he started a little slowly last week in replacing Sean Jones, but by the end of the game, he was playing extremely well.
Yes, the thing that goes unnoticed about Wilkins, he's got Reggie White-like dimensions. 6'4", 310, can run. I mean, he can be better than just your Joe average ordinary player. He could be something really good.
2nd and 9 at 8:27 to go here in the second quarter of the game, and still no score in it. Here's Banks rolling to the right, had heavy pressure that time, and he hits Bruce out here at the 37-yard line for a gain of about 7. He had to get rid of the ball. They were coming hard at it.
Packers lined up in their 3-4 defense, sent both inside linebackers, Kuntz and Ron Cox. No underneath coverage. Complete the pass.
Isaac Bruce with a catch, and now he has caught 2 tonight to give him 61 for the year. And it becomes 3rd down and about 3.5 yards for St. Louis. Thomas to the right, and Alexander Wright goes left. Wright goes left, and Thomas goes right. And in motion to the right side is the tight end Conwell. And rolling to the right is Banks, and then a little shovel pass up the middle of Green through to the 50, down to the 48-yard line. Banks took the opposition and everybody near him, and Green just trailed him up through the hole and just a little shovel pass.
That is a perfectly executed play, Jim, and really a pretty offensive play. I've never seen it where the quarterback actually runs one way and then shovels the ball, but good-looking play.
They brought it right at Reggie White, and Reggie came upfield. They drew him upfield and threw it underneath him.
First down at the 48-yard line of the Packers, and again, it is St. Louis in the territory of Green Bay. So Banks has one running back this time and two wide receivers, a wing as the tight end on the right and a tight end on the left as well. And here is the handoff. This time, a new running back, Lawrence Phillips, is in for a gain of about a yard. Phillips makes his first appearance. The highly touted running back out of Nebraska, 6 foot even, 230 pounds, has 478 yards in rushing so far this season. Gain on the play of about a yard and a half. It'll be second down. Let's call it 8 yards to go for Lawrence Phillips.
Rams pulling both their off guard and their tight end. Both those guys did all right, but once again, they cannot clean up the backside of those long developing plays against the Green Bay Packers.
Well, Phillips goes out, and here comes Harold Green back into the lineup. And Phillips limping a little as he comes to the sideline. I don't think he was hurt on that play. Second down, 8 yards to go. He's been limping around for a couple of weeks now. Here is the quarterback Banks straight back in the pocket. They push him backwards. Somebody is Santana Dotson or Gabe Wilkins hit the ball at the line of scrimmage and went back at Banks quicker than it left his hands. So it'll be third down.
I'm kind of glad it did, Jim, because he did have that halfback or fullback breaking across the middle wide open. So it's good that somebody got their hands up.
I think it was Santana Dotson. So it'll be third down and 8 for the St. Louis Rams. And the Packers make a lot of situational down changes now. And looking to the sideline, Simmons to get the read for the defense. Third down and 8 for St. Louis. There's the Packer 46-yard line.
Packers going with 3 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers, and 6 DBs.
6:15 in the second quarter and still no score in the game. Here is Banks straight back in the pocket. Reggie trying to get through, just barely misses, and the ball is caught at the 30-yard line by Isaac Bruce in front of Craig Newsom. Bruce on the catch. Reggie about a half a step behind in getting to Tony Banks.
Again, though, a tremendous catch that time. The ball way out, almost out of reach, and he just reached up and barely got the hands on it, but made a great catch.
Let's pause 10 seconds for safe side identification. This is the Packer Radio Network.
For Cumberland, Hayward, and all of Wisconsin's great Northwest, this is AM 1240 and 96.3 FM WJMC, Rice Lake, Spooner.
Rams with a first down at the Packers 32-yard line. 2 receivers to the right. And in motion to the near side comes Green on first down for Banks, who's back to throw, and they push back at him. He's firing to the corner. Incomplete. Intended it down this right sideline. And let's see who it was intended for. It was either Green. Yeah, it was Harold Green who was in motion out of the backfield, and Tony Banks really got level.
Yeah, right? Darius Howland pushed Leo Goes, the Rams left guard, right back into Banks. Good pressure by Darius.
By the way, the backup quarterback is Jamie Martin out of Weber State. Steve Walsh, who started the season, Max, as the quarterback, is all the way down to inactive.
Well, yeah, he didn't have was very unsuccessful early in the year, but I'll tell you, Banks is their man. He's their man.
29 quarterback rating will do that to a guy.
Second down. Here's the ride and the handoff this time to Phillips through a hole, big hole, down near a first down at the 23-yard line, and Phillips showed a burst that time.
Problem there, Shannon Clavel in the game for Reggie White got blown out, and when a defensive lineman gets blown out, he gets in the linebacker's way, and you get positive yardage.
And you got Craig Newsom down on the field as well at the 22-yard line. Newsom got run over.
I tell you, that was an impressive cut by Lawrence Phillips, though. When he turned up that field, he had some speed.
They are short of the first down, I believe, by about a yard. Newsom is down on the play. And are we going to get a timeout or not? They are looking to, well, Mike Carey is looking to Rich Brooks about something, but I'm more concerned about Craig Newsom. Boy, things are just happening in the negative right and left for the Green Bay Packers.
No, injuries have certainly changed the tone of this season, at least
have they
it has for the past few weeks.
Today's ball game is brought to you by Mills Fleet Farm. Shop our home center departments for quality home improvement supplies. And, we're looking to see what happened to Craig Newsom. We're seeing what happened to Tony Banks. And Banks appears to be all right, but Newsom as the group around him, and they're taking a good close look. Patrick McKenzie checking that right knee.
You know, I did an interview with Ron Wolf last night. He made an interesting comment. I asked him if he looked at the Cowboy game as just a situation where the Packers were depleted weapon-wise, and he said, no, that's no excuse. We should play better down there.
All right, we're going to third down at the yard. Tony Banks with a running back of Lawrence Phillips, and a handoff to Phillips off the right side. First down to the 20, maybe the 19-yard line. Good strong burst off the left side by the St. Louis Rams. And the Rams are feeling, Larry, I think at this time, that their offensive line can handle the Packer defensive line.
I think you're right, and I think you're seeing a situation where a team that's had limited success has some success against what's supposed to be good people, and their confidence is growing by leaps and bounds.
First down at the 20-yard line, still no score in the ballgame. But again, it's the Rams who are threatening. The Packers have had no threats in the first half of the game. Two receivers to the left for St. Louis. Bruce comes in motion to the right. And here is the ride and the handoff to Phillips. A running start all the way to the 15, maybe the 14-yard line. Lawrence Phillips with a running start hit that hole hard.
Max, I don't know what you're seeing, but to me, the Packers and the defensive linebackers are catching right now. The game's got to be played on the other side of the line of scrimmage. If you catch, you're in trouble.
And this is the first game of the year that I've seen that. And that could be because of a Monday night game. They always say you come back flat, but I've never seen them just sit on the line of scrimmage and let them knock them off the line.
They got the Monday night blast. They better lose them quick.
Second down and 4. Packers almost jump offside and do make contact, apparently.
There is Holland.
Holland does make contact. That'll cost them 5 yards to bring up a first down. Today's game brought to you by State Farm Insurance and the State Farm agents throughout Wisconsin. For all your family insurance needs, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Well, they move the ball forward. It'll go inside the 10-yard line. It'll be first and goal, St. Louis at the 9 of the Green Bay Packers. So a tough situation for the Packers, but a pretty good drive by the Rams to this point.
Well, it really is, Jim. When you got two big runners like Green and Phillips banging on you, I'll tell you, there's two good guys there.
Thomas goes to the left, Bruce to the right. Got them both isolated out there for Tony Banks and a single running back in Lawrence Phillips. Boy, he's about 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage. The handoff goes there, and he gets a running start and gets to the 6-yard line. That was a good play down underneath there. The man who made the tackle for the Packers is Reggie White. He just wouldn't let go. But again, Phillips is getting a good running start and getting a hole to bend into, and that really is giving him the rush.
Yeah, thank God for Reggie White that time, because everybody else appeared to be blocked, but Reggie was able to defeat Zach Weger at the right tackle out of Nebraska playing for the Rams. Not a bad football player, not the most physical guy in the world, but not a bad guy.
3:26 remaining, and a clock running here in the first half, and no score in the ball game. But St. Louis knocking at the door, second and goal at the 6-yard line. Two receivers to the right. One is Bruce. He is out about 10 yards to the right side. The other is a tight end who goes in motion with the left, and a handoff to Phillips. Gets right to the 6, and no penetration that time. And some help out there by Ron Cox, who came into the middle and helped on the tackle. And now we got something going on, and nobody likes at all out there. And we don't want to have this happening. Frustration for both clubs. No gain on the play. It'll be third down and goal from the 6-yard line.
Dwayne White getting involved. He's never going to win any body beautiful contest.
Dwayne White,
not a bad blocker.
6'2" and 315 pounds. Third down, now you got a guard against the pass for St. Louis.
That was that wham play again, and the Rams have not gained diddly on that thing. They might want to can that.
Alexander Wright goes to the slot on the left side. Packers send Mike Pryor out there. They got 3 defensive people. Now what do we get?
That's their last timeout.
Tony Banks takes another timeout with 2:35 remaining here in the first half. Well, our ball game is proudly sponsored by your local train.
I think that's the secret of having a great defense, is have them on the bench a lot and well rested. And but this offense is 3 and out all night.
I always thought, hey, if you want to get out, stop them.
Look at this shift. 2-man shift to the right as they go into a new formation for the St. Louis Rams on third and goal at the 6-yard line. Here's Banks back to pass. Banks looking, comes up over the middle, and touchdown Isaac Bruce. Boy, good coverage on the play, too. And Bruce hangs on to make the catch, and the Rams score. And they had a defender right on top of Robinson, I think.
Eugene Robinson was right there, but Isaac Bruce was able to outfight him for the football.
I'd credit that Banks. He threw a bullet where Isaac Bruce really made a great catch, but what a pass by Banks.
But you know what, Max? He had too much time. He stood there and looked and looked and looked and could wait for just that little opening that Isaac Bruce needed. 5th touchdown of the year for Bruce. So St. Louis breaks on top, 6-0 in the ball game. And we'll wait for the try for extra point. The ball is down, and Lohmiller's kick is good 7-0 in favor of St. Louis. Thanks for him. That is his 11th touchdown pass of the year to go with 10 interceptions. And for Bruce, it is his 5th touchdown. It covers 6 yards, and the drive is a long drive of 70 yards in 13 plays for St. Louis, and it comes with 2:29 remaining in the first half of the game. And Max, that's going to have to wake you up, or you got a lot of problems if you don't get a wake down.
Well, I think wake up's a good word, because the Packers look like they've been asleep all night, both offensively and defensively. And I'll tell you, you're right. This could be one of the big upsets.
Well, True Value is proud to sponsor the True Value NFL Man of the Year Award, honoring players who've made a difference both on and off the field. True Value, the official hardware store of the NFL.
I've always thought if a defense is not emotionally at the bit, it's even more trouble than the offense, because defense is such a reckless side of the game. I mean, you really got to be into the thing to hurl your body around and do the things that's necessary to play good defense.
Well, the Rams are feeling good about what's happened so far. And so the kickoff will come to the Packers. Desmond Howard and Travis Jervey back to return it. And again, still no word about Craig Newsom, who went down on that last series. Here's a high, long kick that is going to be taken at the goal line by Desmond Howard. Up the middle to the 10, tries to get to the outside, and looking for the corner, and Todd Light had him for a moment, gets to the 15 and down at the 16-yard line. What an effort by Todd Light. Light missed him the first time, and the Notre Damer kept after him and caught him at the 16, 17-yard line.
Gentlemen, we got a tiger by the tail.
Boy, there's no question about that. 2:16 remaining. That was a heck of a play by Todd Light.
I'll tell you, I think the Rams are trying to get a message across here tonight, first time on national TV. And the Packers have had a Monday and a Sunday on national TV, and I don't think they're going to get nominated for any Emmys, do you?
This is the 4th national TV game of the year.
You know, it's kind of gotten old hat for the Packers, and they're playing like that right now.
First down at the 17-yard line for Green Bay, trailing 7-0. Here's Brett, pump action fake, now in trouble, spins, and still in more trouble. In the end zone.
That's a safety.
Out of the end zone.
That's a safety.
Because he grounded the ball. And I'll tell you why it is grounding the ball, because he didn't get it back to the line of scrimmage. I saw that in a game play today. He did not throw the ball back to the line of scrimmage when he's out of the pocket, and it will be ruled a safety for St. Louis. That's exactly what happened.
You know, Brett did that earlier in the year, either in preseason or otherwise, and I thought maybe he learned a lesson there, but you just can't throw it out there like that. You can't run into the end zone.
Jim, I congratulate you on knowing the rule.
Well, the only reason I know it, Larry,
I saw the same game today.
Yes.
Even if you're out of the pocket, if you throw the ball away, you must get it back to the line of scrimmage. At least that's the college. Was that a pro? Yeah, that was
John Madden who taught us that today, and we all know it.
Actually, Brett probably should have just stayed in the pocket and not rolled out. He destroys the relationship. When something like this happens, it destroys the relationship with your blockers. They don't know where you're at anymore.
Well, Larry, as I'm reconstructing that play in my mind, I don't think the pocket was collapsing on him.
No, it wasn't. That's what I mean. He just kind of rolled out, and he could have just sat there. Easy to say from up here.
Sure it is. Where can you find the best return team? Well, at your local McDonald's. With fan favorites like the Big Mac or the Quarter Pounder with cheese, you'll want to return there again and again. St. Louis 9. And the Packers nothing, but even more important, Max, is the momentum St. Louis has gained.
I'll tell you, it's just no contest right now, Jim. And making a mental mistake. To me, that's a mental mistake that Brett Favre just made. He did that early in the year, and I thought maybe learned a lesson, but he turned around and ran right back in the end zone and threw that ball, and it's an automatic safety.
Hendrick will do the kicking. By the way, Chris Jackie is scheduled to do the kicking off for the Packers tonight because Craig's having a little leg problem. It's kind of gone wobbly on him. It's a little rubbery. This is not a long kick at all. Ball bounces. Free ball. And the Packers apparently got the ball at the 37-yard line.
I think Mike Pryor got it and lost his helmet in the process.
But there is a flag thrown by the official. Why would he throw a flag? Because the ball just bounced. And nobody bothered anybody from St. Louis catching the ball.
One of the reasons you must give them an opportunity to catch the ball.
No, they had an opportunity. They've ruled it the Packer ball at the 37-yard line. I think that's what Mike Carey was saying. They didn't have a chance to catch us. And the other officials said, no, they had plenty of a chance. It just bounced in between them.
Well, I'll tell you, a great break for the Pack. Let's see if we can take advantage of it.
Well, Yeah, it's Mike Pryor who came up with the ball. What happened was nobody from St. Louis even made an effort to catch it. There was no Packer there. It came down in between all of the people, and it should be the Packer ball at the 37-yard line. The Green Bay Packers in 3.5 games almost, and they get the ball at the 37-yard line. It was a punt, a free ball, the free kick rather, and the ball was punted in the air, and St. Louis just simply failed to catch the ball. Remember, Max, I was telling you earlier that O'Berry seemed a little uncertain in some of these plays, and that certainly was the case right there. He didn't get to the ball.
Well, normally he wouldn't be there. He's filling in for Eddie Kennison. He's not even on their roster. I mean, you can see why he's having trouble with some of these things.
First down, the Packers at the 37-yard line of St. Louis. This is their deepest penetration, and they get it on a fumble recovery. First down for Brett Favre, a single running back and 3 wide receivers, and back he goes to throw it. Dumps it off over the middle. It is caught for a gain down to the 31, a gain of about 6 yards. Packers still have 3 timeouts remaining as they come to the 31-yard line. That was a little circle route out of the backfield, and caught out there by Dorsey Levens.
Packer offensive line doing a good job of picking up an interior stunt where the defensive tackles switched rush lanes.
Andre Rison comes on for Don Beebe, and they're taking a lot of time.
I don't agree with running all this time off the clock.
They went back into the huddle.
Why don't you just get up the line of scrimmage and go?
Here's the second down play, and we have 1:29. That took about a half a minute. Here's Brett back to throw. Quick slant pattern to Andre Rison to the 21 and a first down, and a timeout for the Packers. Rison on a quick slant. Now, you can throw those all day long to him because those aren't hard to learn.
And boy, what hands he's got, Jim. He'll catch that slant as good as anybody.
Excellent blitz pickup by Dorsey Levens on Robert Jones, coming right up the gut.
First down at the 21-yard line for the Packers, and the timeout taken by Brett Favre. You know, you could win a new Arctic Cat Puma Deluxe snowmobile. No purchase is necessary. Just enter when you visit your participating Arctic Cat dealer, including Whitehead Arctic Center south of Judah and Wilson Sport and Marine in Palmyra. Well, you know, when you're down 9-0, any kind of a score, a field goal will be helpful to you at this stage to get you back within 1 score of taking the lead in the ballgame.
Well, anybody was wondering whether Andre Rison could be worked into the offense in just a few days is having their wonders answered right here.
Well, I had my wonders about it, and my wonders have been answered. You're right. It's going to be first down at the 21. Brett needs to get this ball into the end zone for the Packers. First down, he's thrown 28 touchdown passes. Here's the handoff to Edgar Bennett. There's nothing there. He's down at the 21. Packers are going to have to hustle up with 1:14 remaining. Tried to fool him with a running play.
He should have taken it inside, Max. He ran right into the pile.
Look, they're back in the huddle again with the clock running at 1:05. I'm not sure exactly how, you know, there's one thing to being cool, but this is a little too cool.
Yeah, especially when you've got room to make a first down. You're going to need some time here.
Here is the play, second down and 10. Man in motion to the right side for the Packers. Back goes Brett to throw it. Brett dumps this ball over the middle to Henderson. He dropped it. Henderson had running room to the 10, and he just dropped the football. It'll be third down, Green Bay. Clock stopped at 44, right over the middle. Easy play, got what they wanted, and he did not catch it.
Yeah, that would have been a big one. It'd give them first down inside the 10-yard line, but now they're sitting out there third down and 10 to go.
One of those situations where you just have to come up with the play.
Yep.
If you're going to play on winning football, you got to make the play right there.
Beebe comes in and Rison goes out. Third down. Jackson the tight end. And we have Beebe off right and Mickens off to the left. Beebe's in motion. Here's Brett back to throw it. Now they swing it off to the right side and knock down at the 19-yard line is the receiver for the Packers. That's Edgar Bennett. You know, and Max, they didn't really throw the ball downfield that whole series.
Well, they didn't, Jim. I don't know what they were doing there because, you know, they're getting nothing by throwing the ball behind the line of scrimmage.
They sent Beebe and Jackson deep that time, and not enough folks went with them.
Now
they got right back up on Edgar.
Here's an interesting situation. St. Louis has a man down with 26 seconds to go. When you probably would have let the clock run down, St. Louis has no timeouts left. You would have let the clock run down to just get the field goal try off with 26 seconds to go, and yet the clock is stopped for the injured player. Now, he's a defensive player, but he accomplishes something in stopping the clock. I'm not sure how they'll handle this. I'm not sure who the defensive player is that's down for St. Louis.
You have a remarkable ability to dissect timeout situations.
I know.
I have to compliment you.
Time is important in these games, and the rule is in there to run off 10 seconds off the clock when you are out of timeouts and to penalize you. But this is a defensive player, not an offensive player who did that. That was, remember the old rule, Larry, where every once in a while when you were out of timeouts, somebody would get hurt and he was in agony and pain. They would stop the clock. He'd get over the sidelines and do a dance and be perfectly well.
I thought it was a bad sign if they asked you to be the guy that gets hurt.
Yeah, right.
We can live without you.
Take one for the team. Well, the field goal try for the Packers, and that's what they'll have to do here as the defensive player for St. Louis is up. Toby Wright, the safety, is the one who is up for St. Louis. I want to tell you that this game's action brought to you by Kelly Tires and Pomps Tire Service, where you always get a good deal on a great tire, Kelly Tires. So the ball is at the 19. 7 would be 26. This would be a 36-yard field goal try by the Green Bay Packers.
If Wright can't return, that's bad news for the Rams, good news for the Packers. He's a good football player.
Now, here's the interesting thing. Now, Chris Jackie missed a very important field goal last week. He had that important one that won the game against San Francisco, but this is one that you need. You need to get a little boost going into the locker room for the Packers.
I'll tell you, the Packers, I've never seen them have so much trouble trying to score a touchdown as they have the last 2 or 3 weeks. You know, the one they got last week was kind of after the fact, and they've got to get this offense back together or they're not going to beat anybody.
I'll tell you what's interesting about this, too, is why are we waiting? It's what I don't understand, see, because St. Louis has no timeouts left.
Well, they're going to call a timeout when it gets down to about 2 seconds. See, the clock automatically starts.
Oh, they started the clock?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Right.
Okay. And the Packers will then stop the clock right there. And they'll stop it with 2 seconds to go. So that'll end the first half when that's all done. Well, this is interesting because today's contestant in the Quick Trip Quick Score contest, Margie Miraz from Owen, Wisconsin, has picked Chris Jackie to be the first Packer to score in the second quarter. And so if he scores this field goal, she will win a year's supply of quality gasoline from Quick Trip. And you too can enter at your neighborhood Quick Trip stores throughout Wisconsin.
Yeah, I think she's going to win one here.
Well, I hope she is. I certainly hope that she is. And I hope that the Packers can get into the locker room and devise something for the second half. Because even here, Max, at the 37, the series that they ran was kind of questionable. I mean, it just was out of sync again.
I haven't seen a good series in 2 or 3 weeks where they actually move the ball down the field.
37-yard field goal try by Chris Jack. Ball is down by Hendrick. The kick is on the way. The kick is long enough, and the kick is good. So congratulations to Margie Miraz from Owen, Wisconsin. She's won $620, and that's the end of the first half. Or $520 worth of gasoline is what she's won. And that's the end of the first half. 9-3 St. Louis. And we'll begin our halftime programming after this on the Packer Radio Network.
Quarterbacks were the smart ones.
That's right.
Ooh, he hasn't shaved.
But it hurts.
Another foam shaver. Hey, he didn't know about Edge Pro Gel.
New Edge, Reg?
This is New Edge Pro Gel, and it's a moisturizing formula, so it protects better than the foam.
It doesn't hurt.
Would I let you get hurt?
New Edge Pro Gel. Save your skin.
Hey. All right, and now he is beautiful, just like me.
And if the Packers score from at least 62 yards away in a single play, you have to call 414-799-1620 within 6 minutes and 20 seconds in order to win $620. Well, let's see what happens here. We still got a half to go. Max just got to re-gear everything and get it going.
I just don't know what happened to the offense, Jim. We just hadn't had any for a couple of weeks here, and it's kind of depressing.
Well, let's see if they change anything on the kickoff return by the St. Louis Rams. Kickoffs are normally returned by J.T. Thomas and Kennison not playing tonight. And he had scored 2 touchdowns on punt returns, so he was dangerous. Thomas is on the near side, and I think O'Berry is on the far side for St. Louis. Jackie's first kickoff in a long time. It goes to O'Berry at the 7. O'Berry up to the 10, through the middle of the 15, and hit off his feet, stays staggering sideways and goes down at the 27. Somebody made a great hit on him.
Yeah, but Lamont Hollenquist, who's normally a very sure tackler on special teams, did not wrap up. This is pro football. A good hit isn't good enough.
No, he just bounced off. I mean, he bounced him sideways. He never did fully regain his footing, but he was knocked down at the 26-yard line, where Tony Banks and the St. Louis Rams will take over, leading 9-3 in the ballgame.
Time to reset the tone in this one.
We'll see what happens. Reggie White, Gilbert Brown. The right side is manned by Santana Dotson and Gabe Wilkins for the Packers.
Craig Newsom back in the ball game, too.
And it is a first down play from the 26. Man in motion to the near side. One running back. And that handoff.
All right.
And right in the middle, it is Gilbert Brown who made a little statement there for Lawrence Phillips. Phillips had that 7-yard run, and he ran into Gilbert Brown, and he stopped rather abruptly. Air brakes.
Gilbert stopped a lot of them if you run into that one, I'll tell you
that anti-lock braking system.
And that's different than what we saw in the first half. That play was made on their side of the line of scrimmage. It wasn't a situation where Gilbert caught. He was playing on their side of the line.
2nd down and 10 at the 26-yard line. J.T. Thomas splits off a wide right. Isaac Bruce, who's been an outstanding receiver here in the ball game for St. Louis, catching 4 passes, he is split to the right. Here is Banks. Quick pattern, quick slant.
Whoa, there it is.
Intercepted. Touchdown, Doug Evans. Evans on the interception and takes it in, and suddenly the Packers have tied the ball game. He caught it at about the 30, stepped right in front, and took it into the end zone for Green Bay.
Max, is that called setting on a pattern or what?
Well, I tell you, he had that read all the way, and as soon as that ball was in the air, it looked like it was thrown to him, and Evans picked it off, and it was from there on, it was easy.
That's what you were looking for right there. Something to spark the team, and that ought to do it. Doug Evans with the interception, and he takes it into the end zone for the Green Bay Packers, and that hasn't happened in such a long time that you hardly know how to react to it.
No, we've gone 3 games without a takeaway like that.
Well, that was a big one, too.
So Doug Evans with the interception for the touchdown. And to try to give the Packers the lead, Jackie waits, and there are flags all over the place.
The Rams jumped on it.
You know, I lost my statistics. Larry, what do we do with our... Here it is. I was wanting to make sure with Doug Evans, that is his first touchdown of the year and his 5th interception. It's the 23rd interception for the Packers this season.
It's tied with Leroy Butler now for the team lead, I believe.
So Evans on the interception. He goes, I don't know exactly what they're going to give him on the play.
He went far enough.
Yeah, it's got to be around 30 yards, I think, on the return. He stepped right in front of him. There was actually, he was held by the receiver and he just shook him off and took it into the end zone. That comes at 14:05, and it got quiet in here, and really got quiet quickly, didn't it?
Well, I'll tell you, it went from 9-0 all at once. The first half, all at once, we're ahead.
And it is ahead, 10-9 in favor of the Packers. And we'll get a timeout on the field with the score, 10 for the Packers, 9 St. Louis. Back after this from your local station on the Packer Radio Network. So Chris Jackie will get a little bit of a break here. Again, is the reason Jackie's kicking off. Craig Hendrick reported to the coaches this week his leg feeling a little rubbery. Needed a little bit of a break. At least they decided to give him a break. So here's the kickoff by Chris Jackie, and this is a high driving kick that is going to go right where you want it, 1 yard deep, and they don't come out. That's interesting.
You know, Chris might be wanting to make a statement because during training camp, he wanted this job and didn't win it.
That was really interesting, Max. That ball was right there, wasn't all that high, and it was taken about a yard deep, and Keith Crawford decided not to come out.
That is unusual. I thought surely he would. How can you run one of 101 yards unless you come out of there?
Former Packer probably doing his old teammates a favor.
That return by Doug Evans, by the way, officially now is 32 yards on the return. 32 yards. So a first down at the 20-yard line for the Rams of St. Louis. Ball is at the 20-yard line. First down. Single running back. Here is the handoff. And, oh, man, another statement at the line by Gilbert Brown. Is that Phillips again? He hit Phillips in the hole and just drilled him to the turf, and he didn't move.
Somebody lit a fire under Gilbert during halftime because that time he defeated 2 blockers, not just one. I mean, he has got some real motivation going right now.
2nd and 10.
I think it's because he was at Kansas, see, and the other guy was from Nebraska. He's getting even with him.
Could be. Could be. All right, it's going to be 2nd down and 10 for the St. Louis Rams. They've had 3 plays in this half, and none of them, and this time,
now they're jumping
2
off.
guys on the left side. The left tackle and the tight end both jump. Conwell and Wayne Gandy both jump offside.
So far, the Rams holding true to form. Last week, they played a strong first half against Carolina and then more or less fell apart.
So got a note from Mike Burrows, Paul Clark, Steve Klein, and Jason Lardon, I believe. They're here from Fond du Lac in the police department. They want to say hi to their boys back at home. And say, boys, too bad you didn't get a chance to come to the game. We did.
They're missing some beautiful weather.
Boy, there were a lot of people at the hotel today. And they were enjoying seeing the Packers. It's going to be 2nd down and 15 back at the 15-yard line for St. Louis. Let them make another mistake. They've made 2 in a row now in the last 2 series. Here is Banks, and again they moved at the right side.
They got motion on Zach Weger at the right tackle. Trying to get a head start on Reggie.
2 plays in a row, and St. Louis Rams are starting to look a little jumpy.
Oh, it looks like preseason football again.
Well, but it's in our favor.
Yeah.
Fans, today's game brought to you by Time Corporation. Do you know how to spell time? Here in Packerland, we spell it T-Y-M-E. If you don't have a time card, ask your financial institution about how to get one. Well, now they move it back to the 10. 2 more penalties, and we'll be in the end zone.
I'm watching Brooks shake his head on the sidelines there. You know, it is, at this time of the year, making those kind of mistakes would make you shake your head, wouldn't it?
2nd down and 20 at the 10-yard line for the St. Louis Rams. Man in motion to the outside is Conwell. And back to pass goes Banks. And here they come hard against him. He comes upfield. It's caught. Oh, what a catch. Beautiful throw. And Conwell made a great catch, but it was the throw by Tony Banks. He put a bullet in there to get him out of trouble out to the 32-yard line.
Packers blitzing Wayne Simmons and stunting him with Gabe Wilkins. Didn't get home on it. Completed pass.
I'll tell you what, that was a terrific throw by Tony Banks.
I tell you, I'm impressed with this tight end. I mean, he made a good move to get in there and catch that football, too.
Gabe Wilkins comes out of the ballgame. Shannon Clavell replaces him. Wilkins was slow in getting up.
Max, they tried to make him a fullback, a blocking back during training camp. Gave up on it.
Here is a play-action fake by Tony Banks. He wants to throw a sidearm upfield. He does. Incomplete. Threw it short. Intended it for Isaac Bruce, and good coverage by Craig Newsom on this near sideline at about the 45. So Banks seemed to take a little bit of inspiration from the throw to Conwell over the middle and came right back. So it is going to be a 2nd down and 10 at the 32-yard line. You'd love to see the Packer offense get the ball back quickly with a little momentum going for it. And
absolutely.
I thought they had a chance to get it.
Start working with that short field like we did so often earlier in the year.
J.T. Thomas splits off wide right, and look at this backfield lineup. Out of the backfield goes Bruce. I don't know what you'd call that lineup. Here's Banks back to throw. Banks being chased out of the pocket. Comes up over the middle. Incomplete. He threw it upfield, and he didn't throw it anywhere near a receiver because he was being chased. It was Isaac Bruce. What was that lineup in the backfield?
Well, I don't know, but they sent a guy in motion. It was actually going forward when the ball was snapped, but they didn't call motion like they should.
It looked almost like an old-fashioned T. You had a fullback and 2 wide receivers, and the T was the wide receiver, 2 halfbacks. The T was the wide receiver who went in motion to the outside.
Right now, the Rams center, Bernd Brostek, is living a nightmare because Gilbert Brown will not be blocked.
3rd down and 10 for St. Louis at the 32-yard line. Split the 2 running backs this time. 2 receivers to the right, 1 a slot man on the right. And back goes Banks to throw. Got some time this time. Now steps up, hit from behind just as he released it. And down he went. And that was Gabe Wilkins, who got up, went to the sidelines, came back in the next play, and knocked him down. Incomplete forward pass.
I tell you, that was the play that kept him from getting a 1st down, too, Jim, because he had a guy open, and he just hit him just in time.
Packers getting pressure that time with just 3 people. They have come to play the second half.
Well, it's not the kind of play they've been getting. That's the thing about it. It was a key time to get it. All right, let's see if Desmond can do something back here. Desmond needs to put some life in the Packers. Sean Landeta is waiting for the snap of the ball. 11:45 to go the 3rd quarter. The Packers have taken the lead at 10-9. Packers going to double up on this man trying to get downfield on the right. This one hangs up by Landeta and swirls to the right. Desmond Howard goes to the 23 to the 30 and up the sidelines and out of bounds at about the 33. He took what was there, took it quickly, went out of bounds quickly. A gain of 10 on the return and a timeout on the field. And we'll take a break and be back after this on the Packer Radio Network. Fresh and Fleet is for the offense to come out firing a little bit.
Well, you're right. The offense had nothing to do much with the score being 10-9, but it sure would be nice if they could make a long drive here. They haven't done it in so long. Let's get it done.
And the Packers start at their own 33-yard line with a 1st down out of an I formation. Receivers left and right. Here is Brett Favre on 1st down. Straight back in the pocket, fires to the sidelines, almost picked off, and it was caught. And what a catch on the sidelines by Andre Rison. It could have been a touchdown the other way.
Did he catch the football?
He caught the football at the 40-yard line, and a gain of about 8 on the play, but that ball came close to being sent into the end zone by Anthony Parker. My, oh, my, oh, my. What a play by Andre Rison.
You know, Max, you'd appreciate this more than I would. He really uses his hands well.
Oh, he runs so smooth and gets those hands up in such great fashion. I mean, he is a very good receiver.
Now, here's an interesting play that happened. I don't know whether you were watching out there, but as Rison lined up on the right side, Light was lined up across the line of scrimmage from him, and they made contact. with each other, and they call an offside penalty against Light. I've never seen that happen before. They were lining up, and they bumped, and Light is called for a penalty, and that'll be a first down for the Packers.
That is unusual. I didn't get to see it, but maybe they don't like each other.
I think there's a little talking going on between those two.
There is some trash talking going on out on the field right at the moment. By the way, hallelujah, folks, the Budweiser people are in the booth.
God bless you and yours. The nectar of the gods.
Hail to Budweiser. We've got John Crone and Brad Kessie who are in the booth with us tonight. Here is Brett Favre looking, now dumps it off to the right side to Edgar Bennett at the 45. Midfield, down the sidelines and out of bounds at about the 47-yard line. So it is a gain on the play of about 7 or 8 yards, but a quick switch by Brett Favre. He wanted to go deep, Larry, and he dumped it off on the right side.
They had the folks downfield covered, and a good job by Keith Jackson reacting to this situation, coming back and peeling back on a block. He got 2 of them down.
By the way, also in our booth tonight, Paul Lesage and Jeff Keither are here, and whatever you folks from Budweiser would like, just tell them, and they'll be glad to get it for you, wherever you want to go afterwards. Here's the handoff up the middle. Edgar Bennett, a little hole across the 45. Down to the 44, and a gain of about 3 or 4 yards, and there is a different attitude on the field right at the moment.
Well, you're right, Jim, and if they could continue this drive and establish something here, I think it'd go a long way.
It is a 10-9 ball game at the moment in favor of the Packers, who trail 9-0 at one point.
A dramatic difference in how much fight we're taking to the Rams as opposed to the first half.
Well, there's a break in the action for a measurement. That ought to be a great time to break for the great taste of Bud Light. It's a big hit with fans everywhere because it won't fill you up. It never lets you down. Make it a Bud Light. They put the 6 down to measure. That is going to be, I think, just short of the first down by a couple of inches. So it will be a 2nd down and short yardage to go. Now 3rd down and short yardage.
Interesting matchup up front. Aaron Taylor and DeMarco Farr went to the same junior high, and now they're playing right across from each other in the NFL.
Well, here's a key play. You got inches to go. You need to get the first down right here.
A big one.
Brett Favre has sneaked in situations like this. They're waiting for the sticks to get placed, and the fans are trying to urge the defense of St. Louis on to a super effort right here. Here's Brett Favre, and he's going to sneak it, took a little step sideways, and then dived up into the hole for a gain of about 1.5 yards for the first down to the 42-yard line. That's probably the proper way to run the sneak right there.
Yeah, you give your lineman a chance to get fired out there, Jim. That's a perfect way to run the sneak, and he easily got a couple of yards.
Good surge by Frankie Winters, Adam Timmerman, and Earl Dotson.
That is the first down rushing by the Packers here in the ballgame. And it's down to the 43-yard line. We have 9:57 to go in quarter number 3, a 10-9 lead for the Packers. High formation, receivers to the left and right. Now Keith Jackson steps into the backfield and goes in motion to the right side. And Brett's back to throw. Looking, now stepping and
Look
running.
out.
Puck from behind block at the 50-yard line. Run over by Kevin Carter, who now has 7.5 sacks.
He's a leading sack man working against Earl Dotson, and I got to tell you, with Earl, he's a nicked up player. Bad back, bad ankle, and a bad hand. No excuse, but he is nicked up. I think Earl's a better football player than what he's played like the past few weeks.
Loss of about 7 yards on the play all the way back to midfield. 2nd down and 17 for the Packers. That wasn't what you wanted to have happen in Dotson, who just couldn't get to it. Just couldn't get to it. So
got his shoulders turned way too early in the play.
So a 2nd down. Receivers left and right for the Packers. They need to keep this drive going. Man in motion to the right. Here goes Brett back to throw, and here they come. Sets up a screen in the middle. 11, 45. On his feet back to the 41-yard line. Dorsey Levens really did a good job in traffic. First, Max, to catch the ball, and second, to turn it upfield.
Well, they caught a perfect defense for that play, Jim. They had the blitz on, and they were all the way beyond right old Brett Favre when he threw the ball, and that's exactly where you want him.
Yeah, you couldn't ask for a better situation. Robert Jones, the middle linebacker, coming right up the gut and right where they're going with the screen.
So the ball is at the 41. They've got to get it to the 33. It's an 8-yard necessary yardage for a 3rd down. 2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left, 4 wide receivers for the Packers. And here is Brett back to throw. Brett looking, fires it to the sidelines, caught. First down, Don Beebe, out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Great route that time by Beebe, down into the out. He knew where he wanted to go, and Brett put it right on the money.
Yeah, great pass by Brett. He's getting a little more rhythm here like he was earlier in the year, and it makes a difference.
First down at the 29-yard line of the St. Louis Rams with 8 minutes and 22 seconds to go in quarter number 3.
You can see the confidence coming back into this offense.
First down for Brett Favre. The 2 running backs. Let's see if they can get the running game going. The handoff goes to William Henderson, and Henderson tripped up at the line of scrimmage. Never got away from the tacklers. In fact, may have lost 2 yards.
Frankie Winters trying to do a reach block where the defensive tackle is lined up towards the side of the play. Couldn't get it done. Henderson stopped.
So it is going to be a 2nd down and 12. Every time you think everything's going that way, Max, there's a little bit of a slide to the backside.
Yeah, a little leak there, but still the passing attack is beginning to get in gear, and that's what the Packers are made of.
2nd down, 12 yards to go at the 32-yard line. Let's make it 13 yards to go. Andre Rison splits wide right. There goes Todd Light out on him again. And a 2nd down play for Brett Favre. Brett straight back in the pocket. Quick pattern. Now double pumps over the middle. It is caught by Edgar Bennett at the 25 to the 23. At a gain of about 10 yards on the play. Just a little sidearm flip by Brett Favre over the middle.
One of those situations that we talked about earlier, Max, where the Packers use so much variety in their formation. Edgar Bennett's lined up wide left. He just kind of gets lost underneath the coverage.
Yeah, once those linebackers get out of there, there's a lot of room under there, and Brett is great at picking up those backs in there.
And a big 3rd down, 4 yards to go for the first down for the Packers. Howard splits wide right. 4 wide receivers for Green Bay. Here's Brett Favre. This is a big play right here on 3rd down, and they're going to run it. Dorsey Levens looks for the corner. Got it. First down, 16-yard line. Levens, they were looking for pass, and he just slanted it to the outside and gets a first down at the 17-yard line of the St. Louis Rams, and they outguessed them that time.
They really did, and the Packers want to come out here with a touchdown, Jim. They don't want a field goal here. It wouldn't help them very much, but they'd really like to come out here with an 8-point lead.
Now, the sides have changed here, Larry. It's the other side guessing.
Yeah, it is. They've got them on the ropes. And that time, interesting situation. That play was actually designed to go inside. Dorsey Levens bounced it outside.
First down at the 17-yard line of the St. Louis Rams. Here's Brett straight back in the pocket. Swings it. Going to the corner on a fade pattern for Rison.
It's intercepted.
Rison got bumped as he tried to get to the ball. And it is picked off and intercepted in the end zone by Keith Lyle. And that will be his 6th interception of the year. And that is a big play, folks. Right there.
Oh, they had 2 guys over on Andre Rison, Jim, in that corner, and just too many people.
Well, look at the bump. They were both bumping there, and the ball is just overthrown. That little bump threw him off, and the ball will be taken over by the Rams with a timeout. Back after this on the Packer Radio Network.
If you're daydreaming about snowmobiling down a freshly groomed trail or wishing winter was the one and only season, you're not alone. There's an Arctic Cat showroom full of people just like you at the Arctic Cat dealer nearest you. Hurry in today, and they'll put an end to your snowmobiling daydreams once and for all.
10 seconds now. Station identification is the Packer Radio Network.
For Cumberland, Hayward, and all of Wisconsin's great Northwest, this is AM 1240 and 96.3 FM WJMC, Rice Lake, Spooner.
Touchback on the interception by Keith Lyle. Drop ball! Loose on the ground! We got it. Packers appear to have the ball around the 20-yard line. They do. The quarterback, Tony Banks, just simply came out too quickly, and the ball dropped, and a 3rd turnover taken by the Packers this ball game.
And boy, they needed it, Jim, after that interception. And I don't know how the ball came so far out from under the center. It came out on the defensive side, and the Packers had no trouble getting on it.
Now, we got people still down on the ground. I think they're okay. They're just waiting to get up. Reggie was down there, and I don't know who came up with the ball. And it appears to be Brian Williams, who may have gotten it for the Green Bay Packers. So the Packers take over with a first down at the 20-yard line. I was just about to say, we're so close to being a big momentum breaker right there, and the Packers taking over the momentum when that interception came along. And it came on a first down pass, Max, on a fade to the corner.
I'll tell you, that ball's pretty slippery. It started in one guy's hand, went through 4 hands before somebody got on it.
First down at the 20-yard line for the Packers. Here's Brett Favre on a play. The draw up the middle. Edgar Bennett tries to slide inside a couple of guys and gets 5 yards on his back. He just kept the legs bumping, and he's down to the 15-yard line and a gain of 5. Well, Midwest Express Airlines wants to take this opportunity to salute Travel Source, their partner in travel. Midwest Express Airlines, the best care in the air, the official airline of the Green Bay Packer Radio Network. 10-9 ball game. 5:48 to go. 3rd quarter of the game, the Packers are leading. They trailed at one time 9-0.
Fumbling and exchange is something 3 and 8 teams do for you.
And you needed that, didn't you?
Yeah.
You really needed it. From the 15-yard line, second down for the Packers. Lyle is back deep near the end zone for St. Louis. Man in motion to the outside is Edgar Bennett on the second down play. Here's Brett, and it breaks down, and he fires over the middle. Keith Jackson to the 10, maybe the 9, first and goal. And Brett Favre, his old self that time, he threw that ball while running away from a defender and flipped it over the middle, knowing where Keith Jackson was going to be.
Yeah, that was a beautiful play, Jim, by both Keith Jackson and Brett Favre, because there was a big rush on Brett. He had nothing to do but just dump that ball as quick as he could.
The Rams blitz and Roman Pfeiffer on the play right in Brett's face. One of those great individual plays that vintage Brett Favre does on a regular basis.
But again, Larry, it was one of the few times here lately we've seen he knew exactly where to go. He just knew where his man was. First and goal at the 8-yard line for the Packers. Here's Brett Favre. We got two receivers on the left. Brett on the handoff up the middle. Edgar Bennett slides, gets down to the 6. Edgar in some heavy traffic and a couple of yards on the play, down to about the 6-yard line. It'll be second down and goal at the 6 for the Packers.
Tell you what, if Adam Timmerman does a little better job than DeMarco Farr, that thing still going. William Henderson did a fine job leading up on the linebacker.
Second and goal at the 6-yard line. 10-9 ball game, the Packers. And the Packers just trying to do whatever they can to win a ball game. They need to get the momentum back in their position. 4:13 remaining third quarter with two receivers left, one to the right on this second down play. Here's Brett Favre rolling to the right, dumping it over the middle, intercepted and dropped. It was deflected, it was intercepted, and then dropped by a big old Jimmy Jones who had the ball in his hands. Brett running to the right. They were on him on that little rollout to the right. They were right on top of him. He tried to flip it over the middle, and he is having it knocked down, and you escape a bullet there.
That was one of their little pet patterns where they dragged to the tight end and or the fullback, leave the defensive end unblocked. That time, Kevin Carter reacted really quickly, got his hand up and knocked the ball
intended for William Henderson. Here you go to a third down now, and goal at the 6, and St. Louis is putting up stiff opposition right now.
Yeah, they're not giving up.
Brett Favre needs a play right here. Sends a man in motion, Levens out of the backfield. Back goes Brett to throw. Under heavy traffic, touchdown. Over the middle to Keith Jackson. And the Packers get the touchdown they sorely needed. And again, Brett Favre under heavy pressure throws it for his 29th touchdown of the year.
Then you're right. Brett Favre had a guy right on top of him, and he got the ball to Keith Jackson, who was in a perfect position. A big touchdown for the Packers, and they needed it.
Rams blitzed. Robert Jones right up the gut. Brett reads it, and Keith Jackson does a good job of beating Keith Lyle downfield.
6 yards on the touchdown pass with 3:59 to go here in the third. And Keith Jackson with another touchdown. And the play is 20 yards in 5 plays for the Packers. Try for extra point by Chris Jackie, and the kick is on its way, and the kick is good. 17-9 in favor of the Packers, and a timeout on the field. Back after this word from your local station on the Packer Radio Network. 9 seconds to go. The Packers have scored 17 unanswered points to take a 17-9 lead. But the way the NFL is today, you're only one touchdown and a 2-point conversion ahead in this ball game, even though it's late in the third quarter. So Chris Jackie will kick off again for the Packers. Here is Chris. And a high floater that's going back to about the goal line. Taken there, up to the 5, to the 10. Crawford to the outside, drilled at the 11-yard line. Special teams, everybody now starting to play a little better. And that Jervy, that was Travis Jervy who got downfield on that play. We have a Packer player who is down and hurt on the play as well. We'll take a timeout. We'll check on that player and be back right after this on the Packer Radio Network.
Last year, over 1.5 million cars were stolen. The thieves who took those cars not only stole from the rightful owners, but they robbed everybody who pays car insurance premiums. That's why State Farm works with car makers to make new cars harder to steal, and why we work with law enforcement officials to recover cars that are stolen. Because when a thief steals any car, he steals from all of us. This message brought to you by State Farm and your local State Farm agents.
A Dodge Ram pickup was built around a very simple principle. There's no such thing as too much power. So in addition to a 175 horsepower Magnum V6 and 2 Magnum V8 engines, we also offer a 300 horsepower Magnum V10 and a turbocharged Cummins diesel. You could say it's a powerful argument. But wait till we bring up the rear. Dodge Ram. The rules have changed.
Hey, Packer fans, it's that time of year again to cheer the green and gold to the playoffs. And whether you're throwing a pregame...
He's got that defensive look to him.
This is a physical game.
You know what I mean, Max?
This is a physically tough game that they play out there on the field in the National Football League, and you got to be physically tough to play. Second down, they give him a yard, gain of 9, or second and 9, a gain of 1. In motion to the right side goes the tight end Lang, and back to pass goes Banks rolling to the right. Now he turns and fires and missed his man by a mile. He tried to throw a little out pattern to J.T. Thomas, and the coverage again was by Wayne Simmons, who was all over Thomas.
He's a unique blend of size, speed, strength, quickness, the whole package. He's also a free agent next year.
This is the time
more plays like this, and it costs them more bucks.
So it is going to be third down for St. Louis, and about 9 to go. 3:03 to go here in the third quarter.
Packers doing a lot of subbing tonight. Bob Kaburski was in for the previous play.
So Banks with 2 running backs in the backfield now. Both of their fullbacks, by the way, Moore and Derek Harris, haven't played tonight because of injury. Back to pass goes Banks. Banks looking, wants to throw long over the middle, and short, way short of J.T. Thomas. And I'll tell you what, Thomas didn't make a very good effort to go after that ball, did he?
Banks very disappointed in that throw, though, Jim. He's gone downhill considerably here the last couple of series. He's just not on like he was in the first half.
Banks is playing like the rookie he is. Very inconsistent.
Cole's Department Store, your headquarters for great Packer merchandise, jackets, sweatshirts, jerseys, and hats. If you're a Packer fan, we'll make it worth your while at Cole's. That's more like it. All right, the kick is going to come by Sean Landeta from the end zone. Packers have Desmond Howard back near midfield. Here's Landeta. Look at this baby. Oh,
wow.
Man, can he kick. All the way back to the 34-yard line. Desmond Howard looks for the corner, gets it. Got a good block at the corner. Comes up to
He's gone.
40, 45, midfield. 45 down the sidelines and out of bounds. They had the angle on him. They push him out inside the 40 at the 38-yard line. Now, Brooks is all over the Packers about a block, a cutback block, but that was a good block.
I thought Michael Robinson threw a great block to get him rolling.
They were complaining that they thought that it was from behind, but really it wasn't. We'll watch and see. Maybe they'll show it to us again. See, that was square on to the shoulders. He was in front of him and knocked him down at the 38-yard line. It'll be a first down for the Packers. And again, here we are with the opportunity of the ball game for the Packers.
Desmond showed some good speed that time. He just outrun him to the outside.
Max, I thought he had even more. I thought he was gone.
Yeah,
well, except he was trying to get out of bounds as soon as possible.
To the right side goes Andre Rison for the Packers. Split the 2 running backs from the 38-yard line. Back goes Brett to throw it. Brett's going to the corner. He's got Beebe down there in the corner, and Beebe never saw the ball, just over his head.
It's overthrew it.
He overthrew it, and he didn't put his hands up. I don't know whether he just didn't see it or just figured it was out of reach. But he had a step on the defender down in the corner.
Definitely open. Just too much arm by Brett.
I'm not sure what Mike thinks about that throw.
That's the guy they want to take deep. Anthony Parker can make some big plays, but he is not a speed merchant by any stretch of the imagination.
Mike appears a little quizzical about that play. Second down and 10.
I imagine a lot of stuff tonight has made him quizzical.
You didn't even know that word until I brought it up to you. Second down
from Illinois. What the heck?
Here's the draw play up the middle, and Henderson gets nothing at the 38-yard line. Stuffed nicely by the Rams defenders there.
Frankie Winters couldn't get Robert Jones blocked on that one.
2:28 now remaining in the third quarter, and we come to a third down and 10 for the Packers at the 38-yard line of the Rams. Packers are leading 17-9.
You know, the Packers are playing considerably better than the first half, obviously, but these are still situations you got to take advantage of. Nice punt return on the plus side of the 50. You got to make something happen here.
So you need a big play. Man split wide right, wing on the left side for the Packers on this third down play and a single running back. Here's Brett straight back in the pocket, got some time, steps up, dumps it off to the right to Don Beebe. Beebe trying to get the corner to get upfield. Great run by Beebe to the 27-yard line. It looked like he was trapped back at the 33, Max, and he just used some speed, and he's got it to get around the corner and get a first down at the 27-yard line.
You hit it right on the head. Speed. Beebe, when he turns it on, he's as quick as anybody.
You know, that's one of those rare plays, Larry, where you throw it behind the first down marker, way behind, and he made the play for you.
Yeah, and interesting, one of those rare defenses where Jimmy Jones, the defensive tackle, trying to cover Beebe.
Going to be a first down at the 27-yard line. Here's the handoff following through a hole. The Packers had a brief opening, and then it closed, and Edgar Bennett went down quickly after a gain of maybe 1.5 yards to the 25.
I don't see many linebackers that can take on William Henderson and stone him a little bit, but Robert Jones, pretty good job with it that time.
So it's going to be a second down for the Packers. Well, the Packers have a tremendous window of opportunity in this game, and Verhalen Incorporated, your Pello window store, has a tremendous selection of windows for any window project. Pello Windows, a window for every home at a price for every pocketbook. All right, here we go with a second down at about 8. Looks like the Packers,
yeah.
Immediately over the middle. They get down to the 20 on the pass play, but that'll cost them 5 yards. It was to Beebe, and Beebe seems much more active tonight than he has been.
Looks like the left side, possibly John Michaels.
Yeah, I think it was.
It was John Michaels.
So at this stage, Jimbo, let me see what Brett Favre has. That's a non-play there. Favre is 18 out of 27, but for only 123 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and 1 sack for a loss of 8 yards. So 5-yard loss. It'll be a second down and about 13 for the Packers. Back at the 30-yard line, and we're under a minute to go here in the third quarter. 17-9 Green Bay. Packers trying to get back on the winning track after 2 losses on this road trip. Back home on Sunday, a week from today, to face the Bears. Here's Brett rolling to the right. Wants to throw back left, does, to a screen to Edgar Bennett at the 30, inside, to the 25, to the 20. And what a run by Edgar Bennett. He picked his way on that screen down to the 20, short of the first down by about 3.
Great job by a couple people besides Edgar on that. Number 1, Brett looking it off to begin with. Number 2, Frankie Winters hustling out there to get the kick-out block to get Edgar underway.
And DeMarco Farr is down on the play for St. Louis.
I tell you, that's a very odd play when you roll right and you screen. That was actually a screen. Winters came out and got the key block there, but that was actually a screen way back to the left side. There's a lot of danger in that play.
There was, and I didn't think the ball was going to get there in time, did you?
No, it was kind of, he had to throw it over somebody, but that's a dangerous play, but it worked.
Well, Putzer's Big and Tall has the perfect gifts for him this holiday season. Come in tomorrow. See their huge selection of quality name brand apparel for the taller and the bigger man. Putzer's Big and Tall, the upper Midwest leader in better men's apparel in big and tall sizes.
I think it's one of those plays designed because the Packers have a quarterback with a gun. Yeah. I mean, he's football's version of the rifleman.
They are marking the ball in play. The Packers don't know that the injured player has been taken off the field, so they bring Brett Favre back off the sidelines. Henderson goes out, and Jeff Thomason comes in for the Packers on this third down, and 3 yards to go from the 20-yard line of St. Louis. Now a late arrival,
Edgar's
coming in late. The Packers may have to use a timeout.
No, they just started the 25-second play. They still got 16 seconds.
Well, they need the first down here for Brett Favre. Here's Brett at the line of scrimmage, waiting with a single running back. Brett goes back to throw it. Brett looking. Brett dancing around over the middle. Was it caught or not? By Andre Rison at the 7-yard line. What a play. They're going to rule it at the 8. The officials rule it was a catch by Andre Rison under some difficult circumstances.
I'll tell you what a difference he's made in this offense, Jim. They, right off the bat, I think Brett Favre likes to throw to Andre Rison because he's come up with some big ones.
Backfield on it. It's probably time for a little regular exercise. Your body and the couch will thank you.
Lakeview Medical Center, Rice Lake, we're committed to your health.
End zone misses Andre Rison as he tried to run a down and out pattern to the corner. And Brett Favre signals to Andre, that's my fault, because he had his man beaten, and the ball was thrown just a little to the outside by Brett Favre on a little safety throw by Brett on the play. Well, I'll tell you what, Rison made one great catch down around the goal line there to get the ball down to the 8-yard line, and he did catch the ball.
Yeah, he did catch the ball. It never touched the turf.
We thought for a while he might not have, but he caught it. 2nd and goal at the 8-yard line for the Packers. Rison has caught 5 so far tonight. Here's Brett with the 2nd down call. Brett on the ride and the handoff to the right side. Dorsey Levens tries the corner. Levens is pushed out of bounds at about the 5. Let's see, are they going to rule a 5? Yeah, the 5-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and goal, the Packers.
You never think of wide receivers blocks as critical to a running play, but that time it was. Derek Mays missed the outside man, missed Todd Light, and screwed up the play.
Well, Target is a proud sponsor of the Packer Radio Network. Be sure to drop off your film at Target's Photo Center for Kodak Premium Processing. Back the next day, or they're free 7 days a week. Target, expect more, pay less. Max, you got to get this ball into the end zone right here. Look for the tight end.
Be good to put some daylight on this lead here.
17-9, the Packers. We're early in the 4th quarter. Derek Mays to the left. And Jeff Thomason, a tight end to the right. In motion goes Don Beebe for the Packers. Here's Brett Favre on the roll to the right. Looking now, goes back to the left. He could run. No, he's still with the ball. And he is caught from behind, got away. Still throws a touchdown. Holy cow. It's caught in the end zone Brett Favre bought time, and Dorsey Levin's got open, and the Packers score a touchdown that brings the team off the bench. Holy cow.
Oh, my goodness, I'll tell you, Brett Favre, what life he breathed into this team there, Jim. He got away from 4 or 5 guys and finally had 2 guys wide open. They were fighting over who was going to make the touchdown down there.
What I find funny, I think he was throwing it to Jeff Thomason.
Yeah, I think you're right, and Dorsey Levin said, I need a touchdown, so he jumped up and got it.
You think that baby's going to show up on the highlight reels anywhere?
It ought to.
It is now 23-9, the Packers, and they'll look for the extra point right here.
Now, that is vintage Brett Favre.
Oh,
right
was
there.
that ever?
Favre has pooped. That was
30 touchdown passes this year for Brett. The ball down, the kick on the way, and the kick is good. 24-9, timeout. Back after this on the Packer Radio Network.
No matter what you're doing, right?
Bogged is easy. Just use 76 Super Gasoline. Just a few tanks, you're going to notice a difference. It's a high-octane fuel, specially blended with a multifunctional additive that keeps carburetors, intake valves, and port fuel injectors like this one clean. At 76, we develop products that help keep cars performing the way they should. Hey, you got to do what's best for you.
Right, good friends, and that might be the new combo.
Well, you know what? It's also interesting that where did this game turn around? On a free kick by Craig Hendrick that was not covered by St. Louis and recovered by Mike Pryor. That's where the game began to turn around. You're 9-0 at that stage, and you need something to spark you up and get you a 3-point field goal, and then you take the lead on an interception. Now you actually have gotten a touchdown drive, 2 touchdown drives, not long drives, 20 and 38 yards, but the point is you got the ball at that close range. So all of that adds up to a 24-9 lead. Here is the kick. End over ender that goes deep, taken by J.T. Thomas. He's in the end zone. Wow. Holy cow. He was in and came out. The official has taken a long time to make up his mind whether or not J.T. Thomas was in the end zone. 1 foot was out.
Well, he almost put his knee on the line when he kneeled down. That would have been the...
Listen. We were going to try to pick up what
some odd decision-making.
Yeah, I don't think the referee was certain exactly what happened. They're going to move the ball to the 20-yard line. There he is. Now he takes the ball. The momentum of the ball takes him into the end zone. Did he get into the end zone?
Oh, they made a bad call. He's got to come out.
He was out on the field playing at a half-yard out, and then he kneeled down in the end zone. That might very well have been a safety.
I don't know why he didn't want to come out anyway.
Yeah, well, they don't want to this game for some reason or other. First down at the 20 for the St. Louis Rams. 14 minutes left in the game. Here's Banks. Quick pattern to the outside. Caught and falling out of bounds is Isaac Bruce, after a gain of about 5 yards to the 25.
You know, Jim, you were talking about the turning point in this game, and you mentioned recovering that kick after the safety. Well, because the Packers didn't take it in and score that time, they had to settle for a field goal. I don't think that was a turning point. I think the turning point was when they went in the locker room and Mike Holmgren probably went ballistic about the performance in the first half.
I would think that probably all added together to it. Packers are up by 15 points. Here is the 2nd and 5 play by Tony Banks. Banks looking, fires the ball up over the middle, dropped. Was it intercepted?
They picked it up?
No, they ruled it an incomplete pass. It was dropped by the Rams, picked up by the Packers' Doug Evans, who wanted to run it into the end zone. Now, the Packer drives for touchdowns are 20 and 38 yards, a fumble recovery of a Banks fumble, and a good punt return by Desmond Howard. So you've got to have all aspects of the team working if you're going to get points. That's the story here.
Well, I'll tell you, they made a dramatic turnaround here, and early starting in the second quarter, and they kind of got it going, and now they've developed that confidence again. They're going to be tough to handle here for a while.
3rd and 5. Here's Banks back to throw. And Banks double pumping, and Banks caught and sacked. Sack for Mack. Money to the Mack Fund. Compliments of Budweiser beer, and the sack will go to Leroy Butler. Butler with a sack for the Packers. And you can see that Tony Banks wanted to throw, just wasn't anybody there for Butler. That's 4.5 sacks this season.
Leroy did what's called green dogging, and that's where a fellow's going to blitz, but he hesitates for a while, and then he comes.
Green dogging?
Green dogging.
Hey, I like that.
Where do you learn this good stuff?
I stayed awake at meetings.
I used to do a lot of yellow dogging. That's right in between.
It's kind of like an old yellow dog lying on the porch, right?
Mad dogging.
Here's a high floater that Desmond Howard calls fair catch for at the 40-yard line and makes it. Desmond Howard at the 40. The Packers have the ball, leading 24-9. Timeout on the field. Back after this from your local station here on the Packer Radio Network.
Now save up to $900 just by sending E.O. Johnson Company a fax announcing the Canon Laser Class trade-up offer. For a limited time, trade in your old fax machine at E.O. Johnson Company and you'll receive $500 off a Canon Laser Class 7000 or 8000 series plain paper fax, plus free Canon supplies worth up to $400 based on the model purchased. Trade up and save today at E.O. Johnson Company, Wausau and Eau Claire.
The E.O. Johnson Company.
If trucking is your business, you should know that Meyer International Trucks in Cameron is the area factory-authorized international truck, Cummins engine, and Allison transmission sales and service center. They supply parts and service for all makes, and they provide excellent body and paint work. Parts and repairs are conveniently available from 7 a.m. to midnight and sales from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Keep your truck looking like new and rolling safely at Meyer International Trucks, Highway SS in Cameron.
Wallpaper, Indian Head Carpet, Indian Head Carpet.
Well, fortunately, we're done with Tampa Bay. The Bears are a different story, although Detroit now kind of out of the picture totally. No second half surge for them.
And the Packers could go up 3 games in the Central Division if they can win here tonight. The ball at the 40-yard line, first down. 12:44 left in the game, 24-9, the Packers. Man in motion to the outside is Edgar Bennett. Quick slant pattern to the right side. Caught down to the 50-yard line. Terry Mickens to the 45. Terry for about 15 yards to the 45. He just took a couple of quick steps, Max. Stopped, caught the ball, and then powered past his defender.
I'll tell you, he made a strong move once he caught the ball, Jim. When he broke the inside, he ripped out of a tackler and made a bunch of extra yards.
Since early in the game, we haven't said beans about Leslie O'Neal, who can be one of the game's best defensive ends. John Michaels holding his own out there against him.
So it is going to be first down at the 45-yard line of the St. Louis Rams. Split the 2 running backs, Henderson and Bennett. The Packers still haven't had any running game here tonight. They give it to Edgar. He's got 5 yards down to the 40. He tried to spin away, couldn't get away from the defender, Chuck Osborne, rookie out of Arizona, and he's brought him down at about the 40, gain of 5.
2 people made that play. Number 1, Aaron Taylor blocking down on the nose man. Number 2, William Henderson doing what he does, knocking the stuffing out of linebackers.
Packers trying to get a 9th win here today, which would tie them with the 49ers for the best record in the NFC. Dallas lost today. Keep that in mind.
I'll tell you, the 49ers were very fortunate to come out on top today, too.
Yeah, were they ever. Washington, I think, is better than most people thought. Here's a play-action fake by Brett. Now he looks, fires upfield.
What a bullet.
Of the intended receiver, Don Beebe, just a little behind him. He was thrown so hard that Don really didn't have any chance to adjust to the ball down around the 25-yard line.
The only potential for that play would be to dislocate his shoulder.
Yeah, right. I think that ball hit him about as hard as those guys did in the Detroit game.
Well, that's as hard a pass as I've ever seen Brett Favre show. I mean, he just lined that ball.
Well, but you like that because he's starting to look like his old self again. He really is, the way he's operating under center. 3rd down and 5. Derek Mays left. Rison to the right. Rison has really given him a lot of versatility this week. Here is Brett Favre. Quick slant pattern over the middle of Beebe. First down right on his fingertips to the 29-yard line of the St. Louis Rams. That ball had to catch him right on the fingertips, Max. Couldn't be any other way.
No, and Beebe is perfect target for that because he got so much speed. He just stuck a couple of fingers out there, made a great catch, and this is the offense that we were used to all year.
So it is a first down at the 24, and the timing was absolutely exquisite on that play.
And what's good for an offense, too, is to get some repetitions. Yeah. Be out there for a while. Get on track.
First down at the 29-yard line of the St. Louis Rams. Packers have the lead, 24-9. We're at 10:42 remaining in the game. Here is the draw play up the gut. And that's Levens, and he got about 9, maybe 10 to the 19-yard line. Just a little draw. After you hit a few passes, the draw becomes a very good play.
Aaron Taylor doing a fine job on a difficult block. His guy did not penetrate, and then you got to fight, create a hellacious standoff to get the guy done, and that's what Aaron did.
Today's game brought to you by Mills Fleet Farm in Bushnell. Catch all the action with a pair of Bausch & Lomb binoculars from Bushnell. Ball is at the 20, 2nd down, and a yard, a gain of 9 by Dorsey Levens.
Look at the holding there by our right guard.
Max, it's not holding.
No, pay no attention to that, Max. Come on. Here is the play on a short yardage play up the middle. It goes to William Henderson. He drives to the first down at the 18-yard line. Then they want to wrestle him down. 3 guys get a hold of him. Play fair. And Carlos Jenkins is one of those with Robert Jones and Roman Pfeiffer, all three of them trying to wrestle him down. And William doesn't go down easily, mind you. First down for the Packers.
Not a ton of room there, but what was there was created by Aaron Taylor. Good job on the.
Well, if you need one for a first down and you get two, that's a good play, right?
That works.
Yeah, it works for me.
People are bailing out of here.
First down first, big play second on those things.
We might be able to just drive right out after the way things are starting to empty now. You score here and they'll empty quick. And here's Brett on a first down from the 18. Back a lot of time. Look at this. Dancing around now. Late flag.
The holding penalty.
And the ball is thrown to Edgar Bennett over on the left for a gain of a couple of yards. But that, I think, is going to be a hold on the Packers because, you know, the problem was that Brett just stood there way too long. And so his lineman trying to help him, and they get caught on the play. We'll listen to Mike Carey in a moment to see exactly who it was that was guilty of the play, but I can hardly blame the lineman on that play.
Well, you know, I would always take the
Especially
flag
sitting
over a
next to
dead
you.
quarterback.
Yeah.
Always.
Especially sitting next to you, I'm not going to blame any lineman, nor am I going to blame a wide receiver.
Why do so many people that are in the media business look at linemen as unnecessary evils?
All right, let's listen to Mike Carey.
Illegal hands to the face on the offense, number 73. 10-yard penalty. It remains first down.
That's a better
Taylor.
thing. I mean, that's kind of a manly thing to do. Shove a fist in a guy's face. That's not grabbing his shirt.
This Packer broadcast comes to you from our friends at Quick Trip. This holiday season, give the perfect stocking stuffer Quick Trip gift certificates. Give the gift of gas. Available at all your neighborhood Quick Trip stores. Should I say gasoline there maybe rather than gas?
Depends what you had for dinner.
First and 20. Back at the 29-yard line. More fun now. We haven't laughed in about 3 weeks. Here's Brett. Short drop. Quick slant pattern to the 20. And Mickens to about the 16-yard line. Almost got away. And the timing, Max, is starting to come back with the wide receivers.
Well, it really is. Plus the fact that the offensive line is cutting those guys and giving him room to throw the football.
Plus the fact you're playing St. Louis.
Yeah,
that helps.
Doesn't hurt, but once again, Brett looking like Brett. Robert Jones blitzing right in his face and still completes the ball.
So it is going to be a second down at about 5. Brett's been pretty accurate tonight. He now has a total of 24 out of 35. Second down and about 6 yards to go from the 15-yard line of the Rams.
Watch the draw.
24 to 9. Here's Brett up under waiting, and the draw play goes to Edgar Bennett to the 10. Edgar with a first down to the 8. Man, I didn't know you understood offense that well.
Hey, heck, that's pretty predictable. Split the tight ends and the wide outs, leave one back in. They're going with that draw play 9 out of 10 times.
First and goal at the 7-yard line for the Packers, and the Rams are wearing down, folks. This has been a long time coming. 3 weeks, 4 weeks maybe, 5 weeks maybe. And it's starting to come back, and there is a good chance Antonio Freeman could be ready to play next week. Plus, Rison gets an extra week of practice. First and goal at the 7-yard line for the Packers. Here's Brett out of an I formation. Handoff, second man Edgar Bennett to the 5. Edgar slides to the 4. And then he is met by Robert Jones and ridden down at about the 4-yard line. Gain of 3.
And I'll tell you what, guys, this is so demoralizing to a defense. It's one thing to get hit by a big play, but just to have it pounded on you.
It's not demoralizing to me, is it you?
I'm pretty happy that the Packers can keep the ball against anybody the way they've been the last couple of weeks, but tonight this might be the breakout night.
They issued 65,700. I'll tell you that in a minute. It's second down and goal at the 4-yard line for the Packers. Here's Brett Favre. A handoff to Edgar Bennett. Bounces to the 3. Got hit right in the hole at the 4 and goes to the 3-yard line. They issued 65,767 tickets, and they have 61,499 here. So they had about 4,000 no-shows on what really is a miserable night outside. It really is not a good night to be out driving, and there are a lot of weather warnings out here in the St. Louis area.
You know, going into this game, I heard how loud the fans were here, and there was a real problem. But even when the Rams were playing well in the head, I didn't think it was anywhere close to like the Metrodome, for instance.
Third and goal at the 3-yard line for the Packers. Third down and goal. Brett Favre has a receiver left and right and a wing on the right. In motion to the right goes Edgar Bennett. Here's Brett up over the middle, intercepted in the end zone. And it is intercepted by Robert Jones. He tried to loft it. He had a man behind Jones. I'm not sure he ever saw Jones. And Jones picked the ball off and goes down in the end zone. and that will stop the drive by the Packers.
He was trying to hit Terry Mickens in the back of the end zone there, and probably, Max, I thought it was kind of a careless throw.
Well, I think it was, and I think Brett wanted it back about as soon as he threw it, but too late. Right in the hands of the linebacker.
Time out on the field. Back after this on the Packer Radio Network.
The Game, News Radio 6. News and sports.
First down for the St. Louis Rams at their own 20-yard line. Brett Favre's second interception of the night and 10th of this season. He has 30 touchdown passes. In motion, Isaac Bruce comes back to the outside now on the first down play. Banks is back to throw. Here they come after him. He fires to the sidelines. Oh, a great catch by Bruce for only 5 yards in front of Doug Evans. Banks threw the ball high, but Bruce went up on a liner and caught the ball. That's a nice big league play.
You know, if the Rams don't give Zach Wiegert some help against Reggie, Reggie's going to get a sack against him. He's really giving him problems. They leave him alone on him. Reggie might score one.
Second down, 3 rushing linemen for the Packers. Here's Banks quickly this time to the tight end. And Aaron Lang has the first down at the 32-yard line out of the backfield. And a no-huddle offense by the Rams. We're down to 5.5 minutes to go, and the Packers have a 15-point lead in the ballgame. J.T. Thomas splits wide to the right, split off way to the left here. Jermaine Ross, I don't think he's been out there very much tonight in the ballgame. Bruce is in motion. Comes back to the outside on the first down play at the 32. Banks comes upfield, and where'd the ball go? Well, knocked down at the line of scrimmage. I looked upfield, never saw a ball after he released it. Somebody at the line of scrimmage, Wayne Simmons, knocked it down. Well, quality, great selections, and the lowest overall prices are the reasons you should make Roundy's Pick and Save your one and only food store. For the best overall value, shop at Roundy's Pick and Save. When it comes to price, they're still talking low. Say second down and 10 at the 32. The clock is stopped at 5:10 remaining in the game. And I'm not sure what St. Louis is having a problem. Banks seems uncertain about what he wants to do as they come out of the huddle. Does he have time to continue? That's strange the way he came out, wasn't it? Second down. Tony Banks back to throw. Tony got some protection this time. Rolls to the right, fires it upfield, and misfired to his receiver. His receiver, he was looking for Harold Green to break upfield, and Green kind of hung to the outside, and he threw it upfield, and the ball goes out of bounds. Third down, St. Louis.
Fairly ugly passing play.
Well, this break in the action brought to you by your brewery, Fresh Budweiser. Now introducing Newborn on Dating. It's the day your Bud was born, because fresh beer tastes better.
Stale ain't bad either.
Third down.
In fact, I don't think I'd know the difference.
Third down at 10.
You drink a dozen or so, you don't really know a difference.
Third down at 10.
I'm giddy. They're winning.
Here's Banks back to throw. Banks fires sideline. Oh, beautiful throw. And a first down to Alexander Wright. Nice throw by Banks. The kid's got a good arm, Max.
Oh, no doubt about it. He's got a strong arm, and he's coming along about like Favre started with Green Bay. Give him a couple of years. He's just a rookie, and he may be dynamite.
I'll tell you what, he's taken some hits tonight, Larry, and he's gotten up and come back pretty strongly. This game's not over by any means. We don't mean to imply that. There's still 5 minutes to play.
It is over.
Okay. But there's still 5 minutes left. The Packers are only rushing 3 men. That's Darius Holland on the nose tackle right now. Back to pass goes Banks, and he gets away from one man, starts to run. Ball loose. Picked up by the Packers. Leroy Butler on the fumble recovery. Leroy holds onto the ball at the 45-yard line. Tony Banks got hit. I think it's Darius Holland who may have knocked the ball away from him, and Leroy Butler picks the ball up and returns it downfield, and the Packers will have another turnover by the Rams, and will have the ball at the 45-yard line with 4:47 remaining in the game.
Tony Banks fumbles a lot. That one was forced. That wasn't dropping the ball on the ground. That was force.
Packers at the 45. Well, when the game is over, you can still see the best 2-minute drill in town. Simply pull into your local McDonald's drive-thru and call the signals. In no time flat, you can have a delicious Big Mac or a mouth-watering quarter pounder with cheese.
Banks is one of the few quarterbacks with more fumbles than interceptions. That's his 17th this year.
Oh, my goodness. Well, we saw that with Brett, too, didn't we? He took so many chances, tried to get out there and make plays. The ball was knocked away from him. First down. Here is the handoff. They're going to run it a little bit. Edgar Bennett tries to find the corner, and nothing there at the 45-yard line.
Nothing was there because Roman Pfeiffer just crumbled Jeff Thomason.
We got to stop at the clock. Who stopped it? St. Louis has taken a timeout. We'll take a quick break. Back after this from your local station on the Packer Radio Network.
The
The 97 Jeeps are on display at Swanton Motor Company in Rice Lake. See the 97 Jeep Grand Cherokees and Jeep Wranglers. Get $1,275 cash back on
Convenient one-stop drugstore located in downtown Cumberland and open 7 days a week for you, the customer. Schneider Pharmacy.
Happy Thanksgiving this week from Gateway Warehouse Outlet in Ladysmith. You'll be thankful for great prices like these. Motrin IB, 59 cents a bottle. Ultra Bright toothpaste, 69 cents a tube. Robitussin cough formula, 99 cents. Get 50% off any eye care product. All Coke products, $5.49 per case. Kraft macaroni and cheese, 3 boxes for $1. And General Mills Cinnamon Toast Crunch, $2.39 per box. Great deals down every aisle at Gateway Warehouse Outlet, Minor Avenue, Ladysmith. Open every day except Thanksgiving.
For sweepstakes.
So the ball after a quick run by the Packers, no gain. Third down. Brett Favre is back to throw, dumps it off to the right side to William Henderson, and he's down at the 39-yard line, short of the first down. So it'll be fourth down. The Packers not really interested in scoring any more points here. St. Louis uses another timeout. And it is fourth down coming for the Packers. The Packers trying to just kind of finish this ball game out and get on to the next ball game very well under David Craig, and Dave Onstad got everybody on the right page.
You know, the Bears' take on that first game was they gave up some huge plays. I mean, the rest of the game pretty close, and they gave up some enormous plays, which some people say, yeah, you got killed, but they didn't think down to down they were getting smoked like the final score would have indicated.
Well, it'll be a good test next week against the Bears. Hope you have a happy Thanksgiving. Prior to that, here's the kick by Hendrick on fourth down, and he's laying one up high, and the Packers are practicing getting down to cover it, and they fair catch it. Tyrone Williams fair catches it at the 6-yard line.
I don't think fair catch is the answer.
It's not the right term.
No, because
you can catch the ball, however.
You can catch it if the other guy doesn't want to catch it.
If he refuses to get near it, you may catch it and down it at the 6-yard line, and that's what he's done. Our ball game tonight brought to you by State Farm Insurance and the State Farm agents throughout Wisconsin. For all your family insurance needs, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. You know, we need to talk about a defensive player of the game. And I think Jim Paul made a really good point earlier when we were talking during a commercial timeout. The fact that the hit made by Gilbert Brown, 2 big hits made by Gilbert Brown to start the second half, swung some of this ball game around. First down for the Rams.
He's going to be the county line chief lineman of the game.
Oh, back to pass goes Banks. Banks out to the sidelines, caught by Aaron Lang, and Lang out to about the 17 or 18-yard line. The Rams at 3:28. Well, okay, Gilbert Brown is one of those.
Are you just talking a defensive player or a player of the game?
Well, I think defense has to. Well, Doug Evans certainly comes into that category.
What about Andre Rison?
You do know that.
The scope.
You do know that's Ernie Conwell catching those passes.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah, most of the time I do. Banks on the run, but there is a flag on the play as he tries to come upfield and gets out to about the 16. Helping this discussion about who do you think was vital in this ballgame. Rison was, because I think he gave him a spark at wide receiver and stabilized that position a little bit. Certainly Brown, certainly Doug Evans on his play.
And you got to say, Brett pulled the rabbit out of the hat a number of occasions tonight.
Yeah. The one play was spectacular.
But he did have 2 interceptions.
So we've given you a lot to think about there, if you'd like to think about it.
Yes, I will come up with my answer shortly.
Rams are guilty of an illegal procedure call. The ball's moved backwards. True Value is proud to sponsor the True Value NFL Man of the Year Award, honoring players who've made a difference both on and off the field. True Value, the official hardware store of the NFL. So it's going to be first down and 15 for the Rams, and back to pass goes Banks again. Banks, they're letting him sit back in the pocket. He throws over the middle. Didn't come anywhere near Isaac Bruce, who is running a crossing pattern, a deep post, I guess it is, a deep crossing pattern, whatever you want to call it. And the ball was well out in front of him. The timing was very poor on the play.
Yeah, I thought he had the receiver open, really. If he'd have thrown it in there pretty good, he might have had a big play.
Keith McKenzie playing in place of Reggie White now for the Packers. Darius Holland and Shannon Clavell. So these guys are getting a chance to play here late in the ball game.
Packers did a lot of substituting tonight.
Second down, and actually it's more like 20 yards to go. Back goes Banks again to throw. Banks looking, swings it off to the right. It is caught by Green. Green gets away from Simmons, but he doesn't get away from the second man, who really made a nice, sure tackle, and that's Leroy Butler. I'll tell you what, Butler has returned to form, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's had a fine year. He'll be headed to Hawaii.
It'll be third down for the Rams. We're down to 2:43 left in the game, and the ball resting at the 22-yard line. Banks, the quarterback, straight back in the pocket, looking, and gets away, was sacked and got away from Shannon Clavell, runs to the sidelines and goes out of bounds at about the 21-yard line. Darius Holland gets blocked by Harold Green as he tried to chase him out. Now, see, that was interesting. Now, here's Darius, and Banks comes to the sideline, and you can't hit him out of bounds, so Darius lets up, and then Green comes along and cuts his legs out from under him when he lets up. Is that fair?
No, but it's legal.
Life ain't fair, Jim.
No, I got you. Okay, well, that just wanted some affirmation.
One of the slogans in football is protect yourself at all times.
Never stand around piles. It's an invitation to injury.
They're going to go with a fourth down now, and Tony Banks sends Isaac Bruce off to the right, and he's looking to call a timeout again. And with 2.5 minutes to go, I believe he's used his last timeout. Oh, no, he's talking to the referee. Let's listen to Mike Carney and see what he has to say. Mike Carey.
There's no charge timeout against St. Louis. The out-of-bounds play took longer to get back in bounds. No timeout? No timeout. Fourth down.
Why did he say there was no timeout?
The clock was already stopped.
Yeah. Well, I would have sworn that Tony Banks called a timeout, wouldn't you, whether the clock was stopped or not?
Maybe they gave him a break because he's a rookie.
Sure. I'm all for that. Fourth down and about 9 yards to go for St. Louis. And in motion goes Conwell. And Banks rolls to the right, wants to throw back left to Green on a screen play, and Green gets away from one man, and Green rides it to a first down close to the 30-yard line. Good running by Harold Green. He's a nice running back, Harold Green is.
He's got smooth, nice gait, and really makes good cuts.
6'2", 225 out of South Carolina.
You can see his 4+ average coming into this game was no accident.
4.7.
Plus, he's a better receiver than Phillips.
And Banks trying to get a play off before the 2-minute warning. Does. Just barely gets it underway. He wants to go long. Look at this arm.
He is going long.
Double coverage on the play, and he overshot everybody. A good effort by Craig Newsom, who hits the turf. That'll be the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes left in the game. Back after we pause for this on the Packer Radio Network.
Winner.
Tony Banks is back to throw. Here comes Gabe Wilkins after him. He got away from him. Fires on the run. Lofts it upfield out of bounds. Caught out of bounds. But it was out of bounds nonetheless. Jermaine Ross is the man who caught it. 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Packer Radio Network.
For Cumberland, Hayward, and all of Wisconsin's great Northwest, this is AM 1240 and 96.3 FM WJMC, Rice Lake, Spooner.
Well, I think it's fair to say that this game lacked the electricity of the last 2 weeks, but probably it has a great deal to do with what the Packers do the rest of this season, because they finally got themselves untracked a little bit, especially in the second half of the ballgame. Here is a third down play for Banks. Back to throw, pressure, fires to the sidelines, dropped by Green, who was falling as the ball bounced off his hands at about the 35. So it'll be fourth down for Tony Banks, who's now 15 out of 36 in throwing, 463 yards. You know, they've only had about 50 yards here in the second half. At the halftime, Larry, what do they have, 146 yards? What do they got now, Jim? 63. No, I mean total. But that was a good, quick answer. Fourth down. Bruce to the right.
They had 146 at half.
You're right. That I got already. I'm trying to get the total out. Here is Banks back to throw. Banks looking. Now Banks dumping it off to the right at the 30-yard line. And on fourth down, they don't get the first down. And the Packers will take over. Good defensive effort there by the Packers. That was Conwell who caught the ball for St. Louis. I can't catch on.
He caught 3 or 4 before you caught on to that one. The good news is that one will send the remaining 25 people home.
Well, those who are left, I think, are mainly Packer fans. I'm kind of anxious to see what it's doing outside, to tell you the truth, because we can't see. I don't know what it's doing back in the state of Wisconsin either. What's the weather like back in Wisconsin? Somebody tell me.
Snow.
29 and kind of snowing. Is that good for a quick answer? And Packers will fly.
Is that like a voice from the other side? It chimes in every once in a while.
First down, the Packers just going to kneel on the ball and run out the game with 1:33 if the Rams will let them do that. And Brett kneels down. You have to do it twice because you can do it 40 seconds and 40 seconds, so you have to do it twice more, I guess.
You know what impressed me most about this whole game and trip?
No, what?
Those cheerleaders down there from Missouri, they're beautiful.
Well, of course.
You know, I didn't know that. I thought maybe they brought them from L.A. or something, but I guess not.
74 yards in the second half for... Between you and McCarren tonight, this has been a strange broadcast. You know that your minds are wandering off in strange...
Shouldn't have said that. We got no more stats the rest of the night, Max, because Jim just got the binocs out.
30 seconds. No, we have 54 seconds left. A kneel down, and we'll take a quick 30-second break back after this from your local station on the Packer Radio Network.
Beautify your home with Colby and Colby windows from Luck Window and Stop in today at Luck Window and Trim Outlet and see for yourself the beauty of a Colby and Colby window. Luck Window and Trim Outlet, located on Highway 35 in Luck.
MJ. Brett Favre takes another knee, and the clock will slowly wind down with 10 seconds. 9, 8. Packers have won this one 24-9. They've broken a 2-game losing streak. They are now 9-3 on the season, tied with the San Francisco 49ers for the best record in the National Football Conference, and ready for the closing rush now. 4 games remaining. It begins next week against Chicago, then Denver, both games at Lambeau Field, followed by a trip to Detroit and back home to play the Minnesota Vikings. Interesting month remaining in the season, but the Packers are winners here tonight. Back to talk with Max and with Larry 1 minute after this word from your local station on the Packer Radio Network.
You deserve quality and value.
Quarter after a Rams safety, the Green Bay free kick. The Rams let the ball bounce. Mike Pryor of the Packers is hammered, but recovered. We mean that in a hammered and a good kind of hit sense. Led to a Packer field goal. 9-3 Rams at the half. Third quarter, first play. Green Bay has just made a statement. Doug Evans has just returned an intercept for a touchdown. It's 10-9 Packers, and the banks are folding. Fumbles the snap, his 16th of the year. Packers recover. A Keith Jackson TD, 17-9. And then Brett Favre, Dorsey Levens, not McGee, is the open man in the end zone. Threw off one tackler. The voyeur Rams defense just watched there. That wouldn't count if you were playing co-ed flag football. The Packers win 20.